The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
Pop Talk is where it's at, baby.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Cash Money can put this change in my piggy bank any day.
I call bullshit.
No, it's respect my authority.
Yeah, but how things have been going in the news, it's easy for you to say it to some of these stories. I call bullshit lately.
That's true. Good morning, good
Yeah.
evening, good afternoon, and welcome one and all to this edition of Pacific414 Pop Talk, along with Cash Money 007, Baron Norman Tag. I am your host, Mike, and this afternoon, this morning, this evening, depending on where you are, we will be talking about Aerosmith announcing their retirement. We will also be taking a look at the weekend box office to see how Deadpool and Wolverine did in its second week. We will also take a look at an article from Superhero Hype where Deadpool and Wolverine director Sean Levy reveals Emma Goran's original Cassandra Nova camera test photos. Cash and I will give our reaction to the first two episodes of Batman the Caped Crusader.
Spoiler alert, Cash loved it. But back to you, Mike.
And WB Games has some job listings which suggests that there's going to be a sequel to Hogwarts Legacy. And San Diego Comic-Con is supposed to be all fun, all games, people getting together, getting hyped for the latest games that are coming out, the latest movies that are coming out. But it's not going that way for everybody. We'll get into more detail on that when we get to that article. And another gaming magazine is shutting down for good. Game Informer is going to be no more very soon. But first, before we get into those articles, Baron and Cash, how are you guys doing?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Doing great. Actually, a little cooler today, thank goodness. But other than that, not many complaints yet. But the day's not over yet. I'll probably find something or two to whine and complain about. That's me. You know me, always negative. Everything sucks. All that. But no, doing great. Happy to be here as always on a beautiful Sunday, Funday day.
Yes, and it's good to see Tim. Hope you're doing well today, Tim. And it's also good to see Pop Culture Mechanic. Good to see you, Pop.
Hey.
Yo.
Cash, how are you doing on this Sunday? I know it's early Sunday morning for you out there on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I think it's supposed to be cooler today, so we'll see how it goes. I'm probably gonna have to go to the store later, which I'm not excited about, but it'll be all right.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever excited to go to the grocery store.
Sometimes it's okay. It just depends if you've got a long list for your family and stuff. So yeah.
Well, I like going to the grocery store, but then again, I'm a fat ass, so I mean, never go to the grocery store hungry. By the way,
I've made that mistake. Is this on your list? No, but I'm hungry. It looks good. It's going in my cart.
Little Debbie's, little Debbie's, little Debbie's.
Sometimes you Yeah, you go to the store, like, oh, I shouldn't buy that candy. I guess whatever. Yeah, buy some extra stuff that you probably don't need, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or my guilty pleasure is going to the store and the rotisserie chickens have just come out of the oven. It's like, ooh, fresh rotisserie chicken. Yes, please.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mike eats 2 of them before he leaves for the day. From the store.
Yeah, right.
You're gone right there. They look on the little table over there, and they're just 2 bones of what was once a chicken. And it's like, the haunt is returned. We're being haunted by the chickens again. Maybe Peter's right.
Yeah, right. That's why I'm at the checkout lane. Look at my chops.
Yeah. But that is
here's the label. Scan it. Yep, I had my lunch and dinner.
Yep.
While I
Yeah.
was shopping.
But that's one of the most dangerous things you can have sometimes in a grocery store is the deli counter where they have the warm food to go and eat there, and the various other stuff laid out, and it's like, and you're hungry, you just go there and go. It's like going to the Costco or the Sam's Club, and you see the okay, I'm going to have to do it. I'm sorry, but you go there and you see those. Wiener. Yeah, and it's like, $1.50 for that and a drink, and
Well, you kidding? I used to go to the Price Club before they were bought out by Costco, and get the hot dogs for lunch and a soda and chips. I mean, that was a deal.
Yeah,
that really was a deal. Yeah. And you didn't have to be a member.
No, now I think you have to. Yeah, I think you have to now. But I think Sam's Club still lets you come in because they're not douchebags and they're smart.
Well,
I
wouldn't necessarily call us douchebags, but I would often refer to us as the Three Stooges.
So I wasn't calling us douchebags. I'm calling them douchebags. They're not douchebags. Yeah,
Baron.
What?
I was doing it. I was doing a segue. I was getting a clip ready.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
Not that one.
No, that was me. Never really liked the pizzas they had at those, but my daughter did. But I loved it. I miss the Polish sausages. I wish they had Polish sausages at Costco again.
Yeah. I mentioned going to Price Club, Costco to get the hot dogs because sometimes I'd be out with my mom and we'd go pick up my grandmother, and that's what my grandmother wanted, and I didn't care. I thought it was a damn good hot dog.
Right. Well, yeah, they used to have Hebrew National, and then they I think it was Hebrew National, but then they got their own Kirkland brand in there now.
Hebrew National is still really good.
Oh, they are. I'm actually, to be honest,
I
still kind of like them more than the Kirkland, even though Kirkland's good.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I like it better than Ballpark.
Yeah,
Ballpark's not bad, but yeah,
it's
Hebrew
not
National
bad,
is
but
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no Nathan's. It's not Hebrew National. Yeah, exactly. That good kosher all beef wiener. Sometimes, and it's a really good kosher wiener because the tip's cut off. So,
Well, one of the things that I got to experience for the first time was a Nathan's hot dog. The first time I went up to the New York, New Jersey area.
Oh.
And my mom had always talked about them, how good they were. And after I had my first one, she's also, what do you think? I said, I'm going to have my second one now.
More. It's kind of a funny story about Nathan's, though. Because back, they came about the time when truly hot dogs were the mystery meat and was considered, it was considered not good to eat. So Nathan's went out to make that kosher hot dog, all good meats to put in there. Nothing off the floors, no rat assholes or anything like that. And then they went to sell them, undercut the other people with the other wieners, and they failed at first. And the reason why is they thought, oh, if it's that, if it costs that much, then it's got to be really crappy stuff. So they had to literally raise the prices to get people to buy their things, their wieners. And it's like, we're trying to be nice here. You just screwed yourself, people. But okay, bring in the money. Come on.
All right, bring in the money here. Here, we'll give you the crap instead of the good stuff in the hot dog.
Yeah. Bring in the shekels, bring in the talents, bring in the Deutschmarks. I don't care. Just bring in the money.
So speaking of bringing in the money, and they did it for many of years. Aerosmith recently announced their retirement. Due to the recent surgery of Steven Tyler, that surgery being on his throat, and we'll find out more details here as to what the procedure may have involved, and
Steven Tyler's America's favorite lesbian aunt, because I've seen those pictures and that's exactly what you look like, that lesbian aunt that comes by. You want a drink?
I mean, they were part of rock and roll fame. They were part of pop culture. When you think about Mrs. Doubtfire, and dude looks like a lady. Come on, Mike. Speak.
Yep.
and then of course they were part of the soundtrack for Armageddon, and
Yes, they were.
Steve Tyler did the closing credit music to the space battleship Yamato live action film. In fact, they were bragging that all get out when for the adverts in Japan. And hey, how does somebody that, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be impolite here, but he's not really the most good-looking man on earth. How could he have such a smoking hot daughter?
Well, there's got to be good genetics somewhere in that family line.
Well,
yeah, her mother.
Yeah, well, obviously Steven Tyler has quite a personality. I'm sure that was infectious to a lot of women.
Oh yeah.
I would say that the 80s stuff for Aerosmith is probably their best.
Yeah.
Better than the 90s, better than some of this other stuff. So.
Well,
they have an attraction at Disney, at least it's themed to them, Rock and Roller Coaster featuring Aerosmith. My sister and I went on it. We enjoyed it. And
that's cool.
This was back in 2020, of course, pre-pandemic.
Right.
I would have gone there during the pandemic and cough on everybody. Well, but no, honestly, when it came to that time, you're absolutely right, though, Cash. That was the era of the big hair bands, right?
Yes.
And such. So it's really hard to get that same going when in the 90s, when it's like, oh, we got to start changing you over from what made you really great. And
and they were
like,
they were willing to take chances. I mean, that song they did with Run DMC was, I would say, iconic.
Yeah,
it was historic. Yeah, because nobody would probably ever do something like that, and they're like, "Well, let's do this."
Yeah. Hey, Mike, have you ever noticed that Cash sets the bar low for iconic and historic? I just say.
I mean,
good word,
when you think about iconic songs, "Walk This Way" is a very iconic song.
It is, yes,
and very pop culture geeky because that's from Young Frankenstein. I mean, just think about it. He sees that scene. No, walk this way, and he turns that into an entire song off of that movie. I hope he's giving royalties to Mel Brooks. I mean,
I hope so.
Inspiration in it, but it's just amazing. But yeah, I mean, he's part of that 70s, 80s big hair movement that was going on, and and that's the big thing. I don't know if I'd hesitate to say corporate rock or whatever because it was a little bit more than that, not like we have today. But if they ask one thing about what's so different about the stuff that you had that was fluff compared to the stuff we have. Well, simple. They had talent. Two, they're going out and just having fun songs. They weren't going out and, oh, this is moving. This just changed my life. It's like, no. It's like,
No.
just like disco, which was kind of that generic type of whatever. It's like, no, it's about going out there having fun. Shake your booty and stuff like that. And when it came around to, obviously Aerosmith and Van Halen and a lot of these others out there, it was just about rock and roll, having fun. Yeah, there might be a serious song here or there, but the big thing is, hey, we're here to rock it on. Let's have a party.
Well, Dream On.
Well, I mean,
is
Twisted
really-
Sister. I want to rock.
I
Mhm.
want to rock. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, it's a great song too.
And it's like Queen, and not Queen, but AC/DC, because Queen's on a different level. But AC/DC is like,
Yes.
you listen to them, and you can't help walk away just kind of bopping a little bit and all that, because that's what that music is about, getting you going, getting you excited, not tear anything down or make people feel bad or sad. It's like, that is some of the ultimate pump up music.
Mhm.
And you can just hear it in the voice, whether it's Bon Scott or got a mental block on the other guy's name now, or any others that's in that band. It's just like you can tell they're just having a fun old time.
Was
Yeah,
it
and
Angus
even though
Young?
it's a long way,
Okay, yeah.
even it's a long way to the top. If you want to rock and roll, that's a fun song.
Yep.
Doom,
Oh
doom.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, putting bagpipes in a rock song like that, genius.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
was in School of Rock.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, you
So
get that
Mhm.
solo
Yeah.
with that bagpipe. But back to
Yeah.
Aerosmith, because let's not sell them short.
No.
They had appearances on Saturday Night Live. They were part of the Wayne's World skits, and
Mm-hmm. We're not
So we-
worthy.
so we have this article from Variety, which was posted on Friday, August 2nd. Aerosmith announces retirement from touring, saying Steven Tyler's recovery from his vocal injury is not possible. This is by Chris Woolman, and it says Aerosmith has played its final gigs. The band announced Friday that they have canceled all remaining concert dates and are officially retired from touring because singer Steven Tyler's recovery from his vocal injury is not possible. It's been the honor of our lives to have our music become part of yours, the group declared in a social media post that reads like a farewell statement. Well, I hate to say it, it is a farewell statement.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like they aren't willing to replace Steven Tyler, find a new lead man, because it wouldn't be the same.
Well, how can it be? He was, how can you replace him?
You can't.
You can't. I mean, and the thing is all good things sadly come to an end. And they've been rocking out there for how long? And they're trying their best, but
Well,
it takes that vocal injury.
since the early 70s or maybe even the late
Yeah.
60s.
Something like that, yeah. I mean, I remember when the late 80s or whatever, the Steel Wheels tour. Oh, this is going to be the last. This is it. The Rolling Stones aren't going to have on their tour. This is the final tour. And 15 final tours later, they're still out there.
Mhm.
But, this time, sadly, we can sit back and go, yeah, this truly is.
Yeah.
An end of an
It's
era.
It truly is. Says the group had already been on what was billed as a final outing, the Peace Out Farewell Tour, when their road trips came to a halt after what turned out to be a final gig in Elmont, New York on September 9th, 2023. That fateful farewell show came just 3 days into the tour, which was supposed to last through February 2024 before the group postponed and now finally canceled all the remaining dates. The group had been active on the live front leading up to the Scotch Goodbye tour with a residency at Dolby Live at Park MGM in Las Vegas, followed by a hometown show at Boston's Fenway Park last year to celebrate their 50th anniversary.
Oh God, 50 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, they started in 1970 in Boston, so it's crazy.
Although the statement does not mention whether there is still hope for Tyler to conquer his problems to a point that would allow for future recordings, the band has already seemed to be long retired from record making. Their last album, Music from Another Dimension, came out in 2012. Tyler subsequently released a lone solo album in 2016. Says the band's Friday statement in full. It was 1970 when a spark of inspiration became Aerosmith. Thanks to you, our Blue Army, that spark caught flame and has been burning for over 5 decades. Some of you have been with us since the beginning, and all of you are the reason we made rock and roll history.
Classy. I'm not being sarcastic. Very classy.
It has been the honor of our lives to have our music become part of yours in every club, on every massive tour, and at moments grand and private. You have given us a place in the soundtrack of your lives. We've always wanted to blow your mind when performing. As you know, Steven's voice is an instrument like no other. He has spent months tirelessly working on getting his voice to where it was before his injury. We've seen him struggling despite having the best medical team by his side. Sadly, it's clear that a full recovery from this vocal injury is not possible. We have made a heartbreaking and difficult but necessary decision as a band of brothers to retire from the touring stage.
The one thing I can really hope for is his voice recovers enough that he could sing something. But I'm not talking about like the power that he had, but just for the guys just to get together and record one last song, saying goodbye.
And yes, they did sing "Dream On" VJ Ronnie G.
Dream on. And that song probably helped blow his voice out.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, how high. But I mean, I don't want him to push himself or anything like that. But I just kind of hope that he gets the voice back just enough that they can do one last song to put out there as a parting gift and appreciation for both fans and the band back and forth to enjoy. And here's hoping to that.
And I know this has been said multiple times for multiple reasons, but this really is an end of an era.
Mm-hmm.
The article goes on to say, we are grateful beyond words for everyone who was pumped to get on the road with us one last time. Grateful to our expert crew, our incredible team, and the thousands of talented people who've made our historic runs possible. A final thank you, the best fans on the planet Earth. Play our music loud, now and always. Dream on, you've made our dreams come true. Goes on to say, for those who purchase their tickets through Ticketmaster, you will automatically be refunded. There is nothing further you need to do. For those who purchase via third-party resale sites such as SeatGeek, StubHub, Vivid Seats, etc., please reach out to your point of purchase for more details.
Mm-hmm.
The five-member lineup had remained intact for much of its 5-decade-plus history, with exceptions when different members went on a hiatus. Most recently, it was announced that drummer Joey Kramer would not be participating on the farewell tour after some contentious back and forth previous exchanges. While Joey Kramer remains a beloved founding member of Aerosmith, the announcement of the farewell tour said he has regrettably made the decision to sit out the currently scheduled touring dates to focus his full attention on his family and health. Joey's unmistakable and legendary presence behind the drum kit will be sorely missed.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. When the farewell tour was postponed after 3 shows last September, at the time, a statement from the band said, unfortunately, Steven's vocal injury is more serious than initially thought. His doctor has confirmed that in addition to the damage to his vocal cords, he fractured his larynx,
Ow.
which, requires ongoing care. No specific replacement dates had been announced beyond the hope at the time that they would be rescheduled sometime in 2024. And, the thing I was reading up about that surgery is that there are times where it works and then there are times it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't work. Julie Andrews is a
Right.
perfect example. She
Yeah,
had the surgery and she just couldn't do it after surgery. It strained her voice too much.
Mm-hmm. It did. I think she can still have a good speaking voice, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's. And the thing, she was married to Blake Edwards. Wow,
Lucky guy.
He was a lucky guy. That's for sure.
But yeah, it's a sad day to read that they're no longer going to be touring, but there is a silver lining. There are all the albums that they've produced
Mm-hmm.
and that their songs are a part of, whether it be movie soundtracks or
Mm-hmm.
you hear them on an episode of a television series, you hear one of their songs playing in the background, that they've left a legacy.
They have.
That's one thing that a lot of bands have wanted to do is, gain the fame, but also leave a legacy behind. I mean, how many times do you go into a store and you might hear an Aerosmith song playing at some point in the background? Or you're just tuning on the radio and you hear an Aerosmith song pop on.
You truly made it if they do elevator music to your songs.
Yeah. Or
As sad as that sounds,
No. You could be in a mall and you could, at least back in the day, you could, and you would hear a piano instrumental of a song.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Ah, the good old days.
Yeah. But if you gentlemen have anything you'd like to say about this, please go ahead.
Be sad. That's all I gotta say. It's like, and we know it was coming. We knew it was coming because again, unfortunately, they're not spring chickens, and we look in the mirror and start going, "We're not either." So as we grow old, they grow old, and and they've lived a hard life. It was
They lived the rock and roll life.
Right, exactly. And he was able to keep his voice that long. I mean, who would have thought back in the day that someone would have a 50-year rock and roll a career?
I mean, you look at Aerosmith and then you look at the Rolling Stones, bands that have pretty much, for the most part, stood the test of time.
Mm-hmm.
Up until last year, Aerosmith was still touring.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones, they're still touring,
Mhm.
even though some people
Yeah.
I've heard suggest that they should hang up and as long as they keep giving Keith whatever they give him, they'll keep rocking and rolling.
And I think it's the blood of virgins. I think that's what it
Yeah.
is. But no, I mean, honestly, look at Mick Jagger. He's the same age as Joe Biden, or, if not by a year, or, they're very, that close together in age. And look at the difference between those two.
Mm-hmm.
And he can still go out there and rock an entire show.
Yeah.
And when they did do that first tour, I'm sure they had it in their head, Steel Wheels is going to be the last album. This is going to be the last tour, because who's going to want to watch a bunch of us old, wrinkly British guys out there belting out these songs? And lo and behold, 30 years later, they're still going at it.
Well, think about it too. They were part of the British invasion, and they're still going.
Right. They were the naughty Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just need to keep Keith locked up in the lab for a while, and then when he's ready to come out,
What's this? I like it far out.
Hey, he's doing better than Ozzy.
Jagger. Yeah.
But
I'm gonna eat the sandwich. I'm gonna have it later.
I mean, Keith Richards is the one that could go in and get the truck station sushi out of the vending machine in the bathroom, and the sushi would get sick.
Oh,
you kidding? No, I was gonna say this. You can get the sushi from the vending machine at the gas station and give them superpowers of support.
Yeah. Yeah, probably that's a secret. Probably before every show. Hey, Keith, here's your sushi. Sushi, yum, yum. Oh, sushi, yum, yum. Yeah.
All right, sushi from the gas station.
And this is not a joke. Keith Richards should be dead now with some of the stuff.
I know. With some of the stuff he's put in his body.
Yeah, Aerosmith was druggies for a number of years until they got clean.
I'm talking about even the coconut situation.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when he climbed a tree or whatever, they got coconut and got bonked in the head, and they thought, oh, this is bad, and it probably actually helped his brain, gave it a kind of a jar, jar to keep on going. I mean, it's even stuff like that Keith, besides the drugs and booze and all that, Keith Richards shouldn't be. It's sweet hearing stories about how he would burp Betty White after she had her bottle. It was sweet hearing stories about how he was there to see the Gettysburg Address. It was sweet hearing those stories that as a British soldier he saw George Washington. I mean, it's all that stuff. And of course, I'm sure when we're dead and gone, he'll be dancing on our grave.
Oh, look at these sorry wankers. They're 6 feet under. I'm still living.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm immortal. There can be only one.
We did not rehearse that. That wasn't part of the plan, Baron.
No, it wasn't. No.
At the same time.
Yeah, what's frightening is it was. We were in sync, and which is a different band. We don't want to talk about them, but we were in sync. That's what's scary. But
bye.
Yeah, bye. But in sync and the Backdoor Boys. Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
All that. But
yeah.
They couldn't keep it up. They're that flash in the pan type of thing. They have their little things here and there still, but overall, who could think of them being like Aerosmith, the Stones, and even the surviving members of the Beatles, Paul and Ringo. It's just, who would have thought that Ozzy would still be alive?
Yeah, after all the things he's done.
Sharon!
I'm watching this show called Pop Talk. It's a bunch of Americans who don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yep.
Oh man. Uh,
But yeah, again, it's one of those things where we're losing a legacy, and I do not see anyone filling that legacy up anytime soon.
well, no, because I mean, music is just going to keep going the way it is. It's just unfortunately going to be soulless, and Aerosmith was
Right.
definitely not soulless. Hmm.
The only thing
It-
the only thing that will be exciting in music today is when Lizzo goes full Mama Cass on stage. Boom.
it's too much pre-manufactured
Yeah.
Right.
lyrics, music. You know, the industry chooses which artist makes it
Right.
big
You
and
know,
which
we
artist
don't.
doesn't make it at
Mhm.
all.
We
Yeah,
don't have
of
anything.
course.
I mean, even you just where's that raw emotion that you heard from people even in the 90s from like Sheryl Crow and different people,
Oh,
Tori
you mean
Amos. I mean, you don't even hear that from people like Taylor Swift, maybe sometimes Lady Gaga, but it's like these people have also been around a while. I just don't I just would love to hear that raw soul, bring back that more 80s style of for women and men and but they don't care. So we have to
well,
go in this other direction. Hmm.
remember Sheryl Crow was all telling us to help the environment out by only using one little panel of toilet paper when you take a shit.
Oh
That's
boy.
it. Just one little piece of toilet paper to wipe your ass after you take a shit. And it's like, hey, it's like, I just had White Castle's Old Mill and Taco Bell nachos. And you telling me only no. I mean, if that's the case, I need to have a bidet that fires off like a fire hose. Okay, that's all I gotta
I
say.
mean, I still appreciate her music. I know when they start talking about politics once again, it's like, can you guys do some more research before you open up your mouth? That goes for everybody,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Especially me.
And my
Yes,
dad liked
especially you.
Sheryl Crow. I
Yeah,
couldn't stand her. I still can't stand her
Yeah.
music to this day.
it's all right.
Yeah, Sheryl Crow and what
Tori
Fiona Apple.
Amos, yeah, Fiona Apple. Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
That's
Yeah.
another one.
Once
I
again,
was going to get into her music.
garbage. Shirley Manson. Yeah,
that's-
but there was still that raw emotion even in the 90s, even into the early 2000s with women. I mean, I would still say Adele still has like a raw emotion, but I haven't heard her music in a number of years. So.
Well, what they started out and what they became is two different things.
Right.
And honestly, if I want to hear women whining, I'll just go and talk to the wife and say, hey, how was the day going?
Baron.
Love you.
Baron.
Sandy's
Love
gonna
you.
slap the shit out of you, bro.
The
Maybe that's
love
what I want.
suffering is gonna tell you you're gonna sleep outside tonight.
She is with the dogs, man. The dogs are
Hey,
coming with you.
No, the dogs are gonna stay.
No,
in.
she's gonna keep the dogs. Maybe Duchess will go with me, but
Yeah,
she'll keep
maybe.
the dogs. Honey's got to keep my side of the bed warm so she doesn't get too lonely.
And then
Keep
in the middle of the
keep
night,
warm.
the love sufferer's gonna hear a scratching at the door, and Baron's gonna be whimpering.
Oh man.
Then I hear the shotgun go. It's like, okay, going away now. Talk to you
I'm
later.
so happy to know Sheryl Crow only says you need one piece of toilet paper. It's just
Well, I mean, it works for her. She has no ass, but that's beside the point. Mine, however, is about three. We're 4 asses out there. But now that you're watching that Brothers series, I just found out something the other day when we were, when I was trying to say, no, you got to watch this. Of course, what we're talking about, it has to do with some things we will be talking about. But the older brother, right? Brandon Maggart is the actor. That Fiona Apple is his daughter.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no
I
shit.
know that.
I didn't know that either. And he's 90 years old now.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I just found that out the other day. It's like, what?
Well, it's just crazy how politically incorrect Brothers is and what they like say and how people would be offended. And I'm like, did I ever watch this show? Did it just pop up in syndication and I watched an episode? It's like sometimes you feel that way when you watch something that you haven't seen, or It's just, but Brothers is just so funny. It just keeps making me laugh all the time. Every episode, every situation that I'm like, oh my gosh, James Avery playing a gay man, like it's just so interesting. It really is. He's so
Who
much
has a
younger,
crush on the
obviously,
one
yeah.
character?
Yeah.
And it's just well, yeah. Again, it's stuff what we talk about, but it also comes to the fact that whenever they sit back, we never had this. It's like,
Right. Of course
just
they did.
shut up.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they showed all different situations. You saw what happened when they say these certain words. You're like, get out of my restaurant. Like, yeah, that's what people would do that they don't want to hear this crap. So, yeah.
You know that Cash Money is a great YouTuber. Get out of this restaurant.
No, it's more like get off this panel, get off this live stream.
Yeah.
That's right. That's what we have to tell Baron all the time.
I know. I get to it. I mean, what do you mean? I just get shown the door, forcibly. All of a sudden, before I know it, grabbed by the collar and the belt, and out I go.
People have seen this before, Baron. They see exactly how I have to get you off.
I know.
All right, youngster, out you go.
Don't come back. Ever.
Yeah, that way too. Mm-hmm.
Love that movie.
Still one of the all-time great movies.
Yeah,
great
I want to see it again.
Great film.
Yeah. Back. Yeah, we need stuff like this.
But I mean, that's we do, man. That's why I think with certain things, it's okay to say the word great a few times or iconic or greatness, because that right there is great. It's just, you can't even say it's not. I mean, unless you just don't like Westerns.
All you have to do is post a GIF from the movie and everybody knows it's Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
True.
Mm-hmm. And Kurt Russell, man.
I know. Feel bad about what happened to his voice.
Pop Talk is alive and well, Phil.
No, I'm thinking of someone else. Sorry, I'm thinking about Val Kilmer. I'm sorry. Val Kilmer's the one who had
Val Kilmer's the one, yeah. But I feel bad about that immensely.
I do too.
Yeah, with his throat cancer and
yes,
not really being able to speak and. But we have this article from comicbook.com, and it's a sad day for anyone who's ever read this magazine, gotten their video game news from it, or even subscribed to it after getting a pre-order from GameStop. Game Informer is shutting down. The GameStop-owned publication is shutting down. This was posted on August 2nd, which was Friday. And it's by Tanner Deadman. I'm just looking to see what Phil wrote here. Baron is a downvoter.
Hey, I told you that in confidence.
I don't know if our usual downvoters come by yet or not. Yep, they came down. Well,
yeah, Phil's here. Notice that the downvote happens when Phil gets here, and then he deflects. Phil. It's Phil.
Oh, well. Well, you've heard what I've said about that person before. They're sad. They're sorry.
Well, see, Phil is our version of Among Us. He's the guy that, lurks in the shadows and gets it. And that's the same thing when it comes around to doing these downvotes. He shows up, no trouble's happening.
But you know what, Phil? You must have the downvote app like I do. If you're able to tell that there's a downvote, or is Phil McCracken the downvoter?
I think it is.
Dun.
Yeah, I think so. I really do. Mm-hmm. He's only here to show Discord, and I'm not talking about the thing that we use.
You're not talking about the app. You're not talking about the app.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's troll of the year. But remember, people, this is going to be exciting when it happens. It's going to happen very quick here. Yeah, the new Beyond with Jason, Phil McCracken. So they're going to have a grand old time together.
They're going to have a great show.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Between the two of them, there'll be one testicle. Okay. Back to you, Mike.
All right. So this article was posted on Friday the 2nd, and it says Game Informer, the long running print and digital video game publication owned by GameStop, is shutting down. The outlet announced its closure in posts shared via socials that showed a collection of some of the print magazines it's put out over the years, as well as a statement to readers. The magazine had been running around 33 years up until this point, with its most recent issue, and presumably its last now, focused on the upcoming behavior interactive game, The Casting of Frank Stone. A mix of both online and print content, Game Informer has long been regarded as one of the staple gaming magazines. The first print issue was published back in 1991 before it eventually became a monthly publication. Some years later, Game Informer and its owner, the video game retailer GameStop, became synonymous with one another, with print editions of Game Informer pushed in store and through GameStop's membership programs. Yes, that's how I was able to get my subscription to Game Informer. The full
Yes,
statement shared
piles
by
of the magazine in his place. Piles.
Mhm. Well, the piles aren't as big as they used to be.
Mm.
The full statement shared by Game Informer today can be found below. After 33 thrilling years of bringing you the latest news, reviews, and insights from the ever evolving world of gaming, it is with a heavy heart that we announce the closure of Game Informer. From the early days of pixelated adventures to today's immersive virtual realms, we've been honored to share this incredible journey with you, our loyal readers. While our presses may stop, the passion for gaming that we've cultivated together will continue to live on. Thank you for being part of our epic quest, and may your own gaming adventures never end. It finishes off with these next few paragraphs by saying, in recent months, Game Informer announced a new subscription model for its print edition where users could pay just under 20 to get 10 issues a year. Excuse me. Matt Miller, the editor in chief of Game Informer, penned a post about the new subscription offer in March, urging people to subscribe and help ensure there's a place to discover this work for another 30 years into the future. According to those previously employed at Game Informer up until today's announcement, it seems the news came as a surprise to employees. While layoffs have hit Game Informer in the past as positions shuffled, it's been said now that this closure affects everyone, with every person laid off Friday morning. Game Informer's most recent issue focuses on the casting of Frank Stone, with the one before it focused on Dragon Age, the Veilguard. The print editions of the Frank Stone issue were expected to come out in the coming weeks, though it's unclear how, if at all, today's news will impact the final issue. And that's how it finishes off. So it's the end of an era.
Yeah, it's
So-
funny.
Oh,
No,
I guess you could subtitle this edition Pacific 414 Pop Talk, and then an era for, legacies, or
yeah,
some title like that.
it's funny because people were just using the comments section just recently, and it was like, oh wow, this website is down now. But they were going the same way as, especially recently, really pushing Star Wars Outlaws, pushing Dragon Age Veilguard, but they had some other good articles on there, so it was surprising not to see them anymore. And just like Mike, you with your pro subscription or whatever, you get your pro membership. At Stop, you would get Game Informer, and there were some good articles, but they were just going the same way as PC Gamer, IGN, and I just remember even it's funny like making comments about mocking them, more so saying because they're just defending this stuff hardcore, but
Yeah.
still I don't think that's the reason why they went out, because GameStop just decided we can't afford this anymore, and boom. So I'm guessing that's
Well,
probably the reason, because they killed Game Informer. So
well, being that Mike's had been involved with that magazine for so long, what do you think, Mike? What do you think is the downfall of this 33-year-old gaming magazine, which right there is like wow, that long,
My honest opinion, and especially them having to restructure their subscription model, is that people were no longer subscribing to print media.
right,
They may have been getting subscriptions on their digital side,
right.
but as far as the actual publication,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was enough to sustain the entire group.
Yeah, I also think just some of these covers and stuff from Dragon Age, Veilguard, and even stuff like Star Wars Outlaws, I think people were probably turned off by that. But I think it's just they just didn't have the money anymore, and they're not. And GameStop feels, because they own them or whatever, they are just not feasible anymore. So gotta cut the cord.
Yep, because you don't have magazines like GamePro anymore. They
Mm-hmm.
ended in 2011.
Right. Yep. I remember
And
GamePro.
then
Yeah.
there was Electronic Gaming
Mm-hmm.
Monthly.
That
They're
was a
no
great
longer around.
magazine. PC Gamer used to be a magazine as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
PC Gaming World or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
I got some demo discs for them in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, there's some great articles in there, but I really feel like journalism, Germans, that's funny. But journalism actually has been taken over also by some kind of, political virus. And I think it's fair to say that that has also hurt these publications too. So, but I think it's also, they just don't feel this stuff is feasible anymore. So they just cut the cord, and that's it.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it this way too, guys and gals who are listening to us live or listening to this after the fact. Game magazines like Game Pro, Electronic Gaming Monthly, you had Nintendo Power as well,
Mhm.
along with a few others. That's how we got our information on new games that were scheduled to come out and also strategy guides.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There were
Yes,
issues of
exactly.
Nintendo Power, for example, that would give you hints and tips on where to find certain items in The Legend of Zelda, Metroid. They actually let you know about Super Mario Brothers 2, the version that we got here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
And, when the first Super Mario Brothers movie came out in 93, of course, they had information on that. Even talking about the Wizard and talking about Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean,
Yeah.
if you opened up an issue of Nintendo Power and you would read the Nestor's comics that were in there, I don't know how many people remember Nestor, but he was a character that was basically going through trials and tribulations sometimes of different games. And also on the back of Nintendo Power they had a section where people would submit their high scores and they would publish at least 10 of them a month.
Mm-hmm.
There was one year where they mailed out to all their subscribers a book that contained all the passwords, all the hints to different
Yeah.
games.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because these people weren't just journalists, they were also gamers. Like these are the kind of people that you should always hire. You want these people who have a passion. You don't want activists. You don't want these other kind of people. You want people who are actually gamers who play these games. put the time into it, put out these codes, find this stuff. But yeah, it was just a trove of all kinds of stuff. Just great stuff. Just a giant treasure trove.
Oh yeah, I mean, I remember the day where you took a picture of your screen on your home game, and you sent it into them for the high score stuff, and it's like that was your, it's like wow. It was Atari Age is like one of those that did that, and
I can remember picking up an issue of Game Pro and opening it up, and I had sent them a letter to one of their editors previously. It was a few months before this issue even came out, asking about any possible Star Trek games coming out for PlayStation. Because at the time I wrote it, I hadn't heard any news, and I see that question in there, and the reason why they responded was because Star Trek Invasion was scheduled to come out sometime in the near future at the time.
Ooh. And Mike was all excited. I'm excited.
Well,
I'm excited.
I was excited. I was excited because it was my published question that was in there. And there's an answer to follow.
Right. You love seeing your name in those things, just like a letters page of a comic book.
Yeah. Everybody liked seeing their names, letters to the editor, whether it's in a magazine publication, newspaper publication. If you saw your name, it's like, oh, there I am. I'm published.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was that. Woo! You took it to school and showed everybody, look, I'm in there.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, nerd. That is kind of cool, though. Nerd. You're a DJ Ronnie G. That's what you are.
So you get to the point where you're just reading all this stuff digitally. But yeah, I miss the days when we actually got CDs of even quality games. Like, oh wow, cool! They're actually giving this a free game in PC Gaming World or Electronic Gaming Monthly, or
even PlayStation Magazine. You got to try the demos that were included in the disc.
Well, one of the great was, I had Mac Addict magazine, and it always came with a CD-ROM with it, which would have like demos. For a long time there, they used to have the updates for the OS until Apple told them, no, you can't do it no more. They have to download it. It's like, come on, guys. It's kind of hard to download these because it takes so long. Doing this is such a service. It's not hurting you. But, and they were snarky. What I liked about them really liked about them too is even though they're professed Mac addicts, as they like to say, they weren't simps. They would criticize, and this was during like the day of when they were coming out with the clones, the Apple clones, and it was fun reading. Of course, seeing what demo you got or what free games you got in there, because they put all sorts of stuff into those CD-ROMs that you just couldn't wait to put it on your computer. Sad that
not only that, some of the demo discs, especially for the PlayStation at the time, if you put them into your CD player, there was actual tracks of music on there.
Yes,
right. The game.
I do remember that. Yeah, it was very cool. When you bought those things, you seemed to get your money's worth.
You
stuff
did.
Like, but Game Informer. I mean, even I remember even people on there, including myself, like they would erase comments and stuff. They were getting like a lot of these other websites, but I just really don't think still that GameStop felt, well, let's just end this. It's not. It's maybe it wasn't getting enough traffic. That's why they also shut down the site and fired all the employees. And they were trying to bring back the magazine, but You know,
It just didn't work. And
Nope.
you know what, TGAP? You could find the AOL disc in the PC magazines back in the day. Not only would you get them in the mail delivered to you, but go to the magazine rack and you pick up an issue because the issue itself catches your attention,
Hmm.
and then you get, say 53 free hours of AOL, which
Right.
was a big deal at the time.
Yes, it
Right.
was.
It was.
Hmm.
And for me, those AOL demo discs, CDs. When I believe it or not, I still have a bunch of them. Those make great coasters. To put your things on.
Yeah.
I didn't use them as frisbees. I used it for that. It's
Appreciate it, Phil.
You
But
mean the
besides
downvote has been done?
besides stuff like Consumer Reports, there's just not really any tech magazines out there anymore, really, especially focused just on gaming. I think Game Informer was pretty much the last one, unless there's another one out there, but I don't think so.
You know what I missed was the AOL floppy disks, because you could use them over for your own stuff. It was like, oh, this is a gold mine. I'm getting free discs to use. Just reformat this and the way I go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's just how we did it.
Yes.
And you always knew in those 50 free hours, or sometimes you were lucky as it went along. It got up to 120 at one point, I remember, free minutes of AOL. And you always knew when that time was up, because then they would say, do you want to subscribe?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, I'm a cheapskate. I just want to use the minutes that you gave me on this disc.
Yep. Exactly. And they went from minutes and then went to a monthly, which was better, but then they became irrelevant. So, but I kind of miss AOL, to be honest with you. I had fun on AOL.
You've got mail.
Yep.
I mean,
you got mail from deep.
I mentioned that because that's one thing you wanted to hear when you signed in was you got mail.
Well, I didn't, because it usually meant I was in trouble. But no, I mean, all seriousness though, because you were, that was the days of Babylon 5, and we had
that kind of mail, T-Gab. Get your mind out of the gutter. Mail, MAIL.
Well, because he's dreaming of MALE. That's what he's doing. So, but no, that was just wonderful, and of course, the AIM.
Yep.
I just, I kind of miss those pioneering days, and we're watching something about the sounds and things you don't see anymore, and they bring up the dial modem, and the long suffering's going about how much she hated that. It's like, not me. That was like you're hearing the startup of going into another world. It was like every time I heard that, it's like I still get goosebumps. It's like, oh, I'm going to have some fun now.
Yeah, but let me ask you guys this, and this goes to everybody watching on YouTube and Rumble. When you would sign in on American Online or CompuServe, you also had Prodigy, you also had Earthlink,
PrimeNet,
before
that PrimeNet.
You're connecting, with dial-up. You would hear it go through the cycle, and you'd be watching it, and then it would disconnect. It's like, you son of a bitch.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I'm not saying they were healthy. Well, they were healthy on days, but the thing is they had their own issues. Obviously. I loved having Netscape just for watching the end with the stars going when you're loading up pages. It's like, oh, I miss that too.
I still can't believe the Dreamcast had a modem in it. That was crazy. Play Fantasy Star Online.
And the PS2 had a modem. You had to buy it separately, but it had a modem.
That's right, it did. I forgot.
You could attach to the system, and then play with people online. 56K guys, yeah.
28.8 dial up, 24 point or whatever.
Yeah. 14.
Yeah, 14.4 and 28.8. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I think there was 56.6. Was it? Oh, I can't remember, but when it was really starting to get towards the end, and then everything started going the
That's right.
the internet type of way, or
14.4.
land. Yeah.
28.8 and 56.6, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
TJ, those are the
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
We never
Yeah,
said
he got
point. We just said
right up to
56.6. You see it right.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, back before we had cable internet
Yes.
or even fiber optic internet, if you had 56K internet, you're like, yeah, I'm living the good life.
Yeah.
Faster downloads.
It only takes 2 days for me to get that pirated copy of the Revenge of the Sith now, instead of the week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some downloads you would wait for, you'd be watching it going, okay, it's been 3 hours, it's only at 1%. Really?
Well, come on. The worst was you begin to download and it's going very good. And then it gets to like 2% or 1% and it just sits there. Sits there.
It's funny.
Or even
Yeah,
worse,
it does.
you'd be having something download, and then you get a phone call. It's like, no.
Well, I never had call waiting or call rudeness, as we called it. No, I just hope that nobody else would pick up the phone. I'm gonna call the girls. Oh, what's this noise? It's like, can you please hang that up again?
I still remember when I called Earthlink and I couldn't fix my problem with the modem, and it's like, sir. I'm like, no, you're not helping me, sir. I'm like, no, I'll fix it myself, and I did.
What was fun in the old days, because the BBS community, which was obviously before that, we were kind of tight knit. We knew each other. It was like, why were we even going on BBSs before in the first place? But we know which ones would go to which sites and stuff. And if we knew that someone was on one of the sites and they had call ID and you wanted to be on there, we gave a quick call to them, get them knocked off, then quickly dial in and take that place. Because there's only like one phone line at a time. We were bastards. All's fair in love and online, I tell you.
Yeah. Like Durango, which is where I played Doom 2 and other stuff. That got expensive, though. I remember that was in Long Beach, but I remember somebody left a message at the house, and my mom told me about it later. This was a number of years ago, and this guy was named Baron too. That was funny. that was his tag name in Doom 2. He was looking for me because we were like in a clan or whatever it was. Yes, they were called clans. YouTube clans, guilds. Shut up. But
and of course, Cash was so upset the one time when he spilled some wine on his white robes and
wine. Yes,
like, couldn't get him out. Couldn't get it out.
I couldn't get the sound.
So they call him Spot.
Spot.
But San Diego Comic-Con is supposed to be a time where people get together, have fun. Wait to see which stars arrive for upcoming movies. Previews of television series, their next season or their first season. But it's not that way for everybody. Nope. Some questionable choices were made at this year's Comic-Con by some individuals.
And unfortunately, I heard that this has happened before Comic-Con. Yes. So not just
this
pandering.
Well, when I heard this coming up, it's like, oh, again? And I don't mean to be snarky with that, but with this, but...
What the hell you say?
They're up to it again? I mean, I'm saying that with total disgust, not snark.
You got this, and then you are like, oh, well, these people have different politics, so they're not allowed in our convention. Then you have other pandering stuff, and it's like, okay, if this booth is acceptable, then why is this one? Oh, I see, that's not acceptable. So it starts just becoming trash. And then you got to make sure you get your money's worth out of these conventions now. And there's still some good ones out there. I've thought about going to San Diego Comic Con, but I don't know. You got to make sure there's enough there that you want to see. But these kind of things are like, what the hell? Yeah.
Tried
Well,
getting tickets 10 years ago to go to San Diego Comic Con. Good
Mhm.
luck with that. The virtual rating room, well, let's just say waited, and unfortunately, after all was said and done, wasn't able to get a ticket.
Yep. And how many other news articles have been covering this? Is Variety covering this? Is other people covering this? Or do we only find this stuff on Bounding the Comics? Like, everybody should be covering this.
Well,
Everybody
should
should be concerned about
Yes.
human trafficking,
right.
regardless of where it's happening, when it's
Mhm.
happening. Everybody should be concerned about it.
That's right. But I don't know
No,
about
I
you
mean,
guys. Did you hear this anywhere on a
no,
lot of news stations or
No,
no, of
others? Exactly. That is concerning.
course not.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're too busy lying about Trump and saying how he really wasn't shot. It was a piece of the teleprompter, even though both teleprompters were in
Mm-hmm.
one piece. And how all of a sudden, after 3.5 years, we find out that Kamala had a pipe bomb out in front of her offices. Oh, you're telling us now? Yeah, bullshit. Oh,
if that were true, we would have heard about it during her campaign in 2020.
we would have been
Absolutely.
hearing it all across the board after that. They would never let up on it. So,
Yep.
call bullshit.
right.
I mean, they don't have to cover this, but what? They think this is a lie or something? Like, this has happened before at Comic
Well,
Con, and sex trafficking should be an important issue for all news stations. Everybody should
Mhm.
cover this stuff. This is wrong.
I'm sorry, Cash. You're wrong. They have to.
Yeah.
They have to report this.
Mhm.
This is what it's supposed to be about. If they're supposed to be about journalistic integrity,
That's right. That's what I'm
if
saying,
they're
man.
about getting real, they have to do this.
Yes.
Instead of running on their TDS machine
That's right, man.
and
I
shoving their
agree.
nose up Kamala's coochie. They got this is serious.
Yes.
This is serious
Mhm.
because 14 arrests and 10 rescues.
Mhm.
Those are the ones they were able to rescue. Which ones managed to sneak out? What they got whiff of something? It's like, oh, time to go.
Yep.
Throw them back in the cages. Let's go.
Yeah. These are important
And
stories that need to be pushed, man.
I realize it's happened there before, but this is important to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This article is by Spencer Baculi. It was posted on Friday. A good majority of the articles I found either had a published date of Friday or the day before. And so it says, citizens of America's finest city can rest a little bit easier tonight, knowing that a human trafficking sting conducted during the recent San Diego Comic Con has resulted in a number of both arrests and rescues. Per a press release issued by the Office of California Attorney General Rob Bonta, said operation was conducted by the San Diego Human Trafficking Task Force from July 25th to the 27th and ultimately resulted in 14 arrests and 10 victims recovered and offered services. The anti-human trafficking operation targeted sex buyers and focused on recovering potential victims of sex trafficking and arresting traffickers. The AG's office detailed law enforcement personnel worked undercover as sex buyers to identify and contact potential victims of trafficking and arrest their traffickers. As part of the operation, undercover law enforcement personnel also posted undercover advertisements soliciting sex to arrest sex buyers. As a result of the 3-day operation, 14 sex buyers were arrested. 9 adult potential victims of sex trafficking were recovered and offered services, and one 16-year-old juvenile was recovered. Child welfare services and adult and juvenile support service advocates were on scene to provide support as needed.
And the quote unquote adult ones, and I don't mean to sound insensitive here, but the only reason why they're being counted as adults is probably because they're 18.
No. Okay. So you guys should know that a lot of people have covered this. Actually, BBC has talked about this. NBC News has talked about this. Fox News.
Yeah,
has
but
talked
why
about
is it
this.
when I go to those sites, I don't see this information right away? Why is it that it's
Good
bound
point.
in the comics that gives me the information before the
Right.
mainstream
Yeah.
media?
True.
It's
Yeah,
drop and run.
Hollywood Reporter 3 days ago, New York Post, Entertainment Weekly. Yeah, I know. I agree. It should be front and center. I would think it should be on the front page for sure on these websites. Just like
Well, because Comic-Con, unlike what it used to be about comic books,
right.
is so seeped into the corrupt, horrible Harvey Weinstein-like atmosphere of Hollywood. It's a big corporate machine now and has deep pockets.
Right.
And so they don't want to go out there and sink a particular little ship here because of all the money they get. And besides, whose fingers are into this? I mean, ABC, Disney, right? So they're not going to necessarily go out there because it goes right into what they have. And a lot of the others. Again, it's that incestuous relationship between all these motherfucking monopolies that need to be absolutely destroyed.
Well, let's not forget that Angel Studios bought Sound of Freedom from Disney because Disney wasn't going to release it after they acquired Fox.
Yeah, and we found out all about the trafficking going on there. They're pure as the wind-driven snow, right? No, these people are all discussing. This is one of the reasons why I don't even want to go to a fucking convention no more. That and the fact they want to price gouge you left and right, and it's insane and it's stupid. And there's just too many zombies walking around trying to go, oh, this is, with no intelligence of the franchises they pretend. They have a shirt on them. And it's like a superhero team. Okay, that's a nice shirt. Can you name 3 of the superheroes?
Yeah.
I mean, just like people do with the rock band, right? And things like this is destroying the small independent conventions out there that are fun.
It says offering a personal statement on the operation's results. Bonta asserted, unfortunately, sex traffickers capitalize on large-scale events such as Comic-Con to exploit their victims for profit. These arrests send a clear message to potential offenders that the criminal behavior will not be tolerated. We are grateful to all our dedicated partners involved in the San Diego Human Trafficking Task Force, whose collaboration has been invaluable. We take great pride in our office's commitment to uplifting vulnerable Californians by offering them assistance and guidance when they need it most. Likewise, San Diego Sheriff Kelly Martinez affirmed there is no more insidious crime than human trafficking. Let's see.
I know it. I'm going to be kind of mean here. How many of these little trafficking kids coming through? Because let's face it, even 18 years old being trafficked like that, I'm going to call them kids because, they're having their innocence destroyed, right? How many of them might be going to some of the guests? How many of them sometimes are going to, and the handlers that they have for these guests, right? I mean, honestly, especially seeing the reaction that so many of these quote unquote celebrities have, especially when it comes around to stuff like this. It's like, okay, start naming names. Who are they trying to traffic these kids to? Who are you? who are you hoping? And how many have already slipped through and been given over to be used already that weren't able to be found? And who are they? Huh?
Yeah,
Just answer
give us
that.
names. Give us names.
Yeah. We need names. If there is a criminal report, the report's name should be available.
Yeah. Goes on to say the coercion and violence which enslaves people for profit and places them into forced labor or sex is criminal. As the sheriff, I support the efforts of all our justice partners in holding perpetrators accountable. I appreciate the focus that was placed on the recent convention to identify and rescue victims of human trafficking. Goes on to say, sorry about the coughing.
You're
San
good, bro.
Diego proudly hosts special events like Comic-Con. Highly attended events like these allow us to showcase our growing and beautiful city. Added Christopher Davis, acting special agent in charge of Homeland Security Investigations, San Diego branch. However, when people use these events as an opportunity to prey upon minors, HSI and our law enforcement partners will find you and bring you before a court of law to face criminal charges. There is no place for alleged predators to operate in our city, and HSI is committed to helping the victims of these crimes.
Okay, let's back up one thing. Let's get rid of the political bullshit phrasing there. No. There's not anything about there's no room for alleged. No. You're saying there's no room for those that do it. Because you're not making an accusation. You're making a individually here. You're talking about overall.
It's not an accusation. It's proven. When you catch these people in the middle of the act, it's proven what they are.
Right.
They're scum. They're vile.
Yeah. But even more importantly, when they sit back saying as a general overall for the entire freaking state or wherever, right? No, it's not alleged. They're either doing it or they're not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's no alleged
in this
in
case,
that statement.
If you make 14 arrests, it's no longer alleged.
Right. And are these people actually going to get jail time with how stupid the California rules can be on people in jail? It's just ridiculous. And other people I saw were mentioning that as well. It's like, yeah, it's just a fucking clown show.
No, they'll become probably a quote unquote caterer to the next Disney Plus show. Yeah, I'm being mean.
No, it's okay.
Oh, I know it's okay.
This stuff shouldn't happen, period. And anybody who, and there are people, and I really believe still in Hollywood, that are like, oh, sex trafficking, I don't have a problem with that. I'm like, right.
Well, remember how against the Sound of Freedom mainstream Hollywood was.
They were. They were.
The media was against the Sound of Freedom.
So much were they, except conservative outlets, other people, they weren't against Sound of Freedom. They were praising it. They, it's a serious topic.
And why does it have to be?
Right. Exactly.
This is not a left to right issue. This is a wrong issue.
I still think the Sound of Freedom, but Hollywood would never do it, is at least put it up for Best Picture. I say that because of the issue is so damn important.
Because they don't want to watch everybody, half the audience kind of squirm as they bring it up.
Right.
Because it's like
exactly.
Each one that squirms is like, okay, you're one of them. Oh, you're one of them. Oh, hi, Kevin Spacey. You're one of them.
This should never be any kind of political issue. This is just another situation that should never be like that. This should not be more conservatives are saying this is wrong, and then other people on the left, not everybody, are saying, oh, they don't talk about it. They just ignore it. They shield it. These issues should not be political, but they turn into it. It's just bullshit. It's absolute bullshit.
You're talking about human beings here, most of them minors.
Yes.
You really want them to be scarred for life? Apparently they do.
Well, that's because these poor kids are being trafficked to things that are not human beings.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people getting money out of it, even people in America, obviously.
Well, you wouldn't be doing it if you weren't.
That's right, exactly. And now this is
People-
around a convention again, a popular convention. What the fuck?
A convention where people are paying their good hard-earned money
Yeah.
to have a good time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you're going along there, and all of a sudden you accidentally get separated. It's like, well, where's Susie? Susie? Where are you?
Right.
I mean, don't get yourself. They're being scoped out. The young set.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
These are sick, disturbed people. And now it comes the next part. Can any of this be traced to the people that run the convention?
Anything's
Any of this
possible,
be traced to
Baron.
them?
Anything is a possibility.
Mm-hmm.
These days, yeah. These
Yes.
days, yeah. Just the fact that how much they want to cover it up and stuff. 20 years ago, you would have had Marvel, DC, and a bunch of them coming out with special issue addressing this because they don't want this stuff to permeate into pollute comic books, which are great things, right? They don't want that to permeate. They don't want people to think that this is that this. Now it's like, oh well, we won't say anything. And can you get me that little blonde over there?
Right. I mean, it's just absolutely disgusting.
Right, and this is one. In many ways, this is some of the stuff that got me out of pulp culture until I started up a few years back and hooked up with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
This is what part of the things that kind of disgusted me is just the moral bankruptcy, the soulless, or even demon possessed. I'm sorry, you might not believe it, but I have no other way of saying it. You have to be demon possessed to be like this.
Mm-hmm.
To go out there and do these things to innocents.
Yes.
And get off to this by innocence. This isn't role playing with your wife or husband or whatever,
No, it's
mutual
taking innocence and
right,
disrupting their lives just
and
so you can get off.
And with all the borderline CP that they're doing in comic books nowadays, and the animated stuff, and the video games, I mean, it's not even borderline no more. It's virtually there.
I mean,
of course,
look at Justice League. I mean, Suicide Squad killed the Justice League.
Yep,
you see Harley Quinn,
yes,
and a young Poison Ivy.
Yeah,
that should be in a game. I don't care what the game's rated. That should not be in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Or what about Baldur's Gate 3? Yeah, maybe that's a different aspect, but still, it's indecency.
Yeah, I don't think they're
with something illegal.
And I can't believe there's still not a mod that just takes that part out. It just takes out all the romance stuff. It doesn't just take out that part.
Well, and the big thing is, I don't care. I'm not going to reward you for your perverted, sick dreams. Yep. Yep. And again, look at all those blue-haired land whales and those overweight soy boys out there doing the soy boy look when they saw that showing on the screen. It's like, yeah, I'm not surprised. And they're grabbing their peanut butter now. They're going to their hotel room with their service animals or their comfort animals or whatever the hell you want to call them.
Yeah, and I'm not saying everybody who bought that game is going to do that and act like that, or even they can just skip it, but it's still an option in the game.
Right. But the thing is, I'm addressing the ones that did get excited about it. And
right,
do get
I know
excited
you do.
About it.
Yeah, it's just,
I'm not attacking people like Crit or any other ones that do want to play the game itself.
No.
None of my crosshairs are on that. It's on the sick fuckers.
That's right.
Yep. And that's what they're doing. I mean, honestly, when Dark Knight Returns came out, right? And I think in the book he was 55 years old, or supposed to be like 55 years old. Oh my God, he did better than me. Oh, I look at myself at 55, but that's beside the point. And he gets a new Robin, and it's a young teenage girl, right?
Yes.
And it's 100% innocent. He's a mentor. He's watching over her.
Yes.
She's coming from a screwed up household. Nowadays, it'd be like Batman would be trying to connive his way to, get things going more, if you might say.
Right.
If they had their way with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're just, like I said, Suicide Squad and whatever. And it's just also what Harley says to Kid Ivy. It's just like, well, this is not disturbing at all.
Oh no,
It
not in the
is.
least. It doesn't raise an eyebrow.
There,
It doesn't raise a red flag. Turn a light on what? Well, actually, it does. But
Yeah.
this
Well,
is stuff is starting to be pushed in video games, and it's just not right. I don't care if it's M for mature or whatever. It's
it would.
crazy.
there's a line that must be drawn, a line that must not be crossed,
Mhm.
where certain content, regardless of the age group it's intended for, should be forbidden.
Now, there's only one difference I could sit back and see on that one. If you had a situation like that where Harley's creeping over a young Poison Ivy, you make it known that this is creeping, this is disgusting, this is not good, that that Poison Ivy is being groomed or whatever, and you do not make a positive light up out of it. In fact, you use it more of a tool to be more disgusted and not liking the character of Harley.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's
The
not
thing
just,
is, Harley,
right?
Harley at her craziness though was always a likable character, and now you're throwing her into the gutter now and not making her one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is not Harley.
No.
Yeah. I mean, yes, Ivy and Harley do have a relationship in the comics. I think that happened in the 52s version.
Yeah.
But still, this is a kid Ivy, and this is an older Harley, and no. Harley has feelings for Kid Ivy, and it's like,
It shouldn't have been approved. Somebody at the head of the company, the head of the publishers, should have seen that part and said, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Unless the intent was to make it go, ew, and make you have more spite against those, against the villain. That you can see, because then it starts addressing this issue more seriously. It's not promoting it. On the contrary, it's going the other way. Does it make it uncomfortable? Yeah. But that means that it's making it, doing its job. You're not supposed to be comfortable with this.
No. Hell no.
And they're trying to make it comfortable.
Right. Yeah. This stuff is just sick. It really is. It's
no wonder why you got this at San Diego Comic-Con. No wonder why, they don't want to do anything about this at Comic-Con and these other places. And this is the stuff that we just know about.
Right.
It's stuff that we don't know about that should even scare us more.
Mm-hmm. These are the sloppy ones. Oh, I got one thing to say. Fuck you, Comic-Con. Fuck you, and I hope you go under. Fuck you. Oh, and also, fuck you, Mark Hamill. Okay.
Oh, I didn't think he was going to say it this time.
No, I just want to make sure I had at the. I can't make it predictable when I'm going to do that.
Hey, San Diego Comic-Con, there are people who run it know that stuff like this happens, and they should be against
the fact that this
like
happened before. What the
happening
hell,
at their
man?
conventions, whether it's now or whether it's before, should outrage them.
That's why I think they're involved in it. Somebody in there is involved in it. I'm absolutely positive. That's my speculation. I have no proof, no nothing. It just when they know there's a problem and it keeps going like this, yeah. And I think the reason why they got caught is because they got too comfortable, because Comic-Con was looking the other way and they didn't realize that some real agents were going to come in and do something.
Yep.
And I want to know how much. I want to know how much Comic-Con is getting from these people, so they can do that.
What the hell? If
And
this
like you said
before,
earlier, Baron, like you said earlier, what celebrity guests are linked to any of these traffickers?
Mm-hmm.
This stuff is disgusting, people. Disgusting.
Yeah.
And if somebody tells you, "Oh, I don't see a problem with it," that right there is a big problem too.
They're part of the problem.
That's right.
Well, that's where I'm sorry. It's going to sound really mean here, but it's like, hello, your head meets my baseball bat right now. If you find no problem with that. I don't mean to be
You're playing
cruel.
a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5 lately.
It's not being cruel.
No, it's not.
You have standards, Baron, and there's a line that mustn't be crossed.
Yes.
And when people
And they,
cross that line, it's like, okay, you fucked
Mhm.
around. Now find out.
Yep, they're
And we
starting
have
to
a lot.
cross it. Go ahead.
And we've allowed these motherfuckers to cross this line way too much.
Yes.
And they've become more emboldened. They have become much more confident, which is probably the reason why, again, like I said, they got caught because they got lazy.
Right.
And the fact that you get to that point right there, what does that mean? Well, we need to fight back. Yeah. Fight. And it's more than just a woke world after all. It's a sick world.
Yes.
It's beyond wokeness. This is beyond
more
wokeness.
degenerates.
This goes way beyond wokeness, Crit, when it comes to human trafficking. It shows how sick and demented this world absolutely is. Deplorable.
Right. Well, I mean, I just read the article the other day that there was a newscaster they have over there, Hugh, I can't remember his last name, but he got caught soliciting stuff with a minor. And his entire news career, because he's a well-respected news guy, is destroyed. And they're scrubbing his stuff out of there. They had to make a big deal about it because, he had a role, a role in one of the Doctor Who episodes, new stuff, the crap. And now they're going to they took it off the iPlayer so they can redub it now with somebody else's voice. So it's like, no, geez, I wonder why even the news agencies don't necessarily want to talk about it. They squirm too much.
Yeah. But at least some are still want to talk about it, besides these kind of websites. So.
And yes, Crit, it does need to stop. But someone at San Diego Comic-Con or any convention where this occurs, anywhere where this occurs, where it's an organization organizing an event where people are going to gather, somebody needs to step up and say, we're not having this here.
Just let's go back to the old days. Can we just bring the legal whores in? Well, they're still doing a legal thing, but I mean, at least they're legal. Just bring the legal whores in like they used to do in the old days. Can we just return back to those halcyon days? I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Can we back in the days where you saw it bad that that some of these women coming there and figuring that I'll be able to make a bunch of money on these virgin nerd boys so they can have their first piece, right? Boom. Yeah, I want that again. Not this. And the sad thing is
I go to a convention to have a good time. I go to a sporting event to have a good time.
Right.
And to know that there are people who are that evil, and yes, the people that are trafficking human beings are evil because of what they do.
Right.
That sickens me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It does.
It's absolutely disgusting.
But the reason why it doesn't is because these people who defend it are just as horrible and evil. And many of them might not partake, but they wish they could, but they don't have the nerve to, but they'll defend it.
Yeah, of course.
At least they haven't.
Of course you're gonna have those sickos who defend it. Because they see nothing wrong with it.
And they want to partake in it, but don't have the nerve. Or they are partaking in it. So the sad thing is the trafficking will never end. Unfortunately, that's a sad thing. But what we can do is we can really tear it down as best as possible. And make sure the ones that are doing it get really harsh punishments. And if that means Old West style, so be it.
It worked in the Old West.
Yeah, the thing is instead of them being lazy and complacent, they should be shitting their drawers. They should biting in their pants every time they go out and do one of these jobs. Because they know if they get caught, and of course that means there'll be less of them out there doing it. Because a lot of people don't want to take that big of a hit in their life on it, even if it is good money. Let's go back to the cocaine and meth, okay?
Here's a good punishment, Baron. They get caught, snip, snip.
Exactly.
Yeah, but my thing goes to the even the better one. You have a special person made up. They have very small cells. They get put into that cell. The door gets welded up. There's a little slot on the bottom of that door, and you can put virtually whatever in there requested within reason, right? The food will go in there, toiletries, soaps, and such. Slide under the door, whatever needs they need to have there, but they never leave that room again in their life. And why?
And I
In some
say,
ways,
as far as that room's concerned, they never see light ever again.
mm-hmm. Now, of course, reason why I say that, people say about, the death sentence. What if you actually execute something wrong? Well, this was perfect then. If they were wrongly accused, at least they're still alive. Just tell them, well, the door, bring them out and give them a lot of money. You don't have to worry about trying to bring them back to life. But no, you go in there for the rest of your days. And of course, the only time that door gets unwelded, like I said before, are when they keep on pushing the trays of food under and it keeps piling up. It's like, we'll try a couple more days. They'll open up and see if they're around. Even if they look through and all they see is a pair of feet dangling because they couldn't handle it no more. I don't care. And that's the only time you open that door up again, get it nice and clean, and have it ready for the next one, which you hope will not get used. You hope that cell stays empty, not because you're a mushy-headed, idiot not wanting to put people punishment, but because you're so scared that that's how much the numbers have dropped.
Yeah.
See, I can be humane. No, really, I can be humane. It's like, okay, you want to go this way?
Yep.
And one last thing too. While we did brush the penalty, they have no excuse now to say that it's cruel and inhumane anymore for having the final impact. You know why? Because you have those 3D printed machines they're doing in Europe right now for people to use to unalive themselves. Just like Futurama. So if it's good for them, right? Obviously, it's not going to be painful. They made it absolutely positive not to be painful. You don't have to look for a vein that might have been ruined because all the interviews worked. No, it's the humane way of going. So you have no excuse no more. There, you get convicted. You're sentenced to that. No, you're not going to get hurt. You just go to sleep. Bye.
Nighty night. Nighty night.
I'm ready.
I know a topic like this might make some people uncomfortable, but when I see topics like this, I want to discuss it.
Because this hits all across the gamut. One, of course, the most important is destroying young, and it's not always girls either. There's boys that are. Everyone wants to gravitate towards
it's destroying
the girls,
young
but
minds that don't even get a chance to grow up because of sickos like the 14 who were arrested at Comic-Con.
Right. But boys are used in this too, right? So most importantly,
it was depicted that way in Sound of Freedom, boys and girls.
And so that obviously that is the most important. But it even comes down to the fact you're coming in and you're polluting my fantasies. And I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about the fantasy worlds we like to go into, whether it's Doctor Who, Star Trek. They have their own problems as it is right now with who's running it. But now you're tainting that.
You're tainting it where you're going into a convention. You could be dressed up as your favorite superhero, whether it's Superman, Batman, whomever. You could be dressed up as Captain Kirk, Picard, Cisco, Spock, anybody, or dressed up as Han Solo, whatever character you're paying homage to, having a good time dressed as that character that you're paying homage to, getting your picture taken, not just at a booth, but multiple fans who share the same passion that you do are coming by, taking their pictures with you. If you're dressed up as a character, you're probably seeing other characters and you're having your picture taken with them. It's ruining the joy that Comic Con is supposed to be when you have sick fuckers out there trafficking other human beings.
Right. You're polluting our pool with crap. We don't want you swimming in our pool. And I think some of the biggest people who are complacent about this are the trendies. Because they don't have that attachment like we do.
No.
We don't want this to be associated with this crap.
We want any convention, San Diego Comic Con, GalaxyCon, whatever. Any convention to be a convention where fans can have a good time meeting other fans, talking about their favorite IPs, meeting celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of their whole time at this particular convention, saying, I want to do this again next year because this was so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I'm not kidding either. I'd rather go back to the days of the hookers and the blow because at least age-wise, they're legal. What they're doing isn't. But at least, it's not involving kids. And it's funny to watch them get dragged off, too, when they get caught. But, no.
You're right, Padawannabe. They're out in the open, right in front of us, in plain sight.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's that noise coming from the trunk?
Mm-hmm.
I know. I mean, like I said, yeah, it's supposed to make you go cringe a little bit. It's like you're driving on the road and there's a car in front of you. Are there a couple of kids in that trunk?
You have to wonder anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not everything's on the up and up anymore. We've seen that.
Right. There's a reason. There's a reason why those mafia trunks are still popular today.
Mm-hmm. Any last thoughts on the previous article before we move on to this next one here?
Fuck you, Comic-Con. Go to hell. I hope you crumble up. I hope every single Comic-Con is destroyed. I hope that name is erased from us like they did with Fix It Jim and Timey Kangaroo Down. The guy who did that, Rolf, I can't remember his other. You want to erase all these motherfuckers out there, and rightly so. And that news presenter. You know what? The same should be with you, Comic-Con. I hope you get washed away and scrubbed from all this. I don't want you around. Go away.
Yeah, if you're not willing to fix your shit, Comic-Con, then go away. If you're not willing to do what's right and protect people at a fucking convention, then fuck off.
And if any celebrities are partaking in this, I hope your day comes.
Yep. Again, a convention should be a safe place for everybody to go, convene, commune,
exactly,
and have a good time. But not when you have 14 sick fuckers who are trafficking other human beings for their devious purposes.
And sadly, I have to say this: 14 that we know of.
Yeah, there's many more out there that we don't
got
know
away.
about.
Yeah. Who got away? Who were able to sneak out? Who wasn't caught? That's the other thing,
So, shifting gears.
And fuck you, Mark Hamill.
Again.
Shifting gears, we have another article from Battling in the Comics. This one by Ryan Pearson. It says WB Games job listings suggest Hogwarts Legacy sequel now in development. Job listings by Avalanche Software have appeared online, leading to speculation about an upcoming sequel to Hogwarts Legacy. While the job listings were not archived before vanishing, a screenshot of one of them persists via Game Rat, under Warner Brothers Discovery's career page, a senior producer role at Avalanche Software, Bose joined the team behind the blockbuster open world action RPG Hogwarts Legacy as we create what's next. Under the nice to have section, one bullet point notes experience developing open world RPG games or action magical combat games a plus. Gaming Bible also reports there are job listings for associate software engineer and senior character technical artist. An open world action RPG with magical combat would certainly describe Hogwarts Legacy and could describe a sequel or prequel game. While not definitive, past reports lend credence. Back in February 2023, Warner Brothers Games president David Haddad told Variety, "We are very pleased with the initial launch and see a bright future for our other platform launches." Variety's Jennifer Moss specifically reported that Warner Brothers saw the game as a long-term franchise. Hogwarts Legacy was almost unaffected by a boycott over J.K. Rowling's comments against transgender ideology. Despite claims of anti Semitism, LGBT outcry, harassment against streamers merely announcing the intent to play it, and even a website tracking who streamed the game being met with approval by a state legislator, it became a smash hit. Not only did it sell 256% above targets in its first 2 weeks, it went on to sell 22 million copies in 2023 and became the best-selling game of 2023. In March last year, there were rumors a Hogwarts Legacy TV show was in the works at HBO Max.
Mm-hmm.
Further evidence to a sequel came in March of this year. During a conference call, Warner Brothers Discovery CEO and president of global streaming and games, JB Perrette, discussed the future of live service games in the same breath as Hogwarts Legacy. Despite admitting Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was a disappointment, Perrette championed Warner Brothers' four major gaming IP expanding into multiple multi-platform, free-to-play, and live service. This includes DC Comics, Mortal Kombat, Game of Thrones, and Harry Potter.
Look at that. My apologies, Mike. Look at that economy here, right? Hogwarts, despite all this crap being thrown at them, it became a huge hit. I don't think they even care if they get an award or not. The big thing comes down to cha-ching, cha-ching. But meanwhile, the one that is supposed to perk all these wokey pokies, as Jace would call it, the blue-haired land whales and such, the Kill the Justice League, meh, right? Why? Well, Hogwarts stayed to what Harry Potter is about, not the perceived notion of what J.K. Rowling is. And Justice League went off of what this is all about, the DC.
Well, yeah, it's that problem, but it's once again it's these games that should never be games as a service, and they just want to keep pushing this shit because they're greedy. Warner Brothers Games is greedy. They're definitely greedy. I want to say that like 30 times, but and they don't care.
They definitely grade 8. I'm sorry, guys. That's what it reminded me of.
No, they are, and they want to keep doing this shit. And if they do this to Mortal Kombat, they do this to Game of Thrones, they do this to other stuff, like such a big failure they had with Suicide Squad. And it's not so much the agenda. The agenda sucks, but it's just these games as a service should never be. DC games should not be a game as a service unless they're going to give you a lot of content. And then on top of it, the price. So it's a failure. So don't do this with the other franchises. And if they decide to do this with Hogwarts Legacy 2, I have a very good feeling that it will be a failure. So.
Yeah, and I don't think it will because I do believe they're waking up, and just
I
the
hope so,
fact of
Baron.
how the suicides. Well, why would they be going with a number 2 if number 1 was so troublesome? And they know what made number 1 positive, and they're knowing they do know what made Suicide Squad flop.
Right.
So
and they do, right. And the funny thing is Hogwarts Legacy should have been up for Game of the Year, because not only did it make a lot of people happy and sell a lot of copies, but because that right there is like, oh, this should be a win. It should be up against Beargate 3.
But guess what? The Game Awards never even nominated it.
Because it becomes a political thing. Oh, we can't have this because of J.K. Rowling, but we can nominate a game that has optional bear sex in it. Well, a druid becomes a bear, whatever. I'm just saying that what would have hurt to see that up against Beargate 3? Were they worried that maybe Hogwarts Legacy would have become Game of the Year? Other people say, oh, that wasn't going to happen. That game was only generic and this and that. Okay. You can believe that, then why did it sell so well?
Right.
Because of the name, because it was a fun game. People had there were puzzles. There was a lot of content for your money. But you're going to tell me that game deserved to be denied at the Game Awards because it was connected to J.K. Rowling? Give me a fucking
it didn't meet with their narrative.
Right. Exactly. But the big thing is if you're absolutely so positively sure that was going to get his ass kicked, then put your money where your mouth is. Put it in there.
That's right.
But you're afraid. You're afraid because it could have won. And you're being a coward and you're just lying through your teeth left and right about all this. And your insecurity about all this.
Right.
No, I mean, if you really wanted to drive a point, if you're actually brave, but that's one thing. None of these people are brave. They're fucking cowards. Fucking cowards, right?
They are. They're cowards.
They cannot go into the quote unquote lion dens like people like us and others can do, because we're secure in what we are for one, and our beliefs.
That's right.
But if that's the case, put Beargate up against Hogwarts for Game of the Year.
Why not?
And let's see what happens.
I'm not saying Beargate would have still not won the Game of the Year. I'm not saying there isn't a lot of content in that game. I'm not saying people who bought it didn't get their money's worth. But why not put Hogwarts Legacy against it? Because you're scared. Just come out and say it. You're scared because you have to make this shit political because it's tied to J.K. Rowling. That's bullshit.
Well, and that's the big thing. It's like, is censorship much?
Yeah,
you're the ones that scream democracy, but you're leaving this democracy out where people have a chance to vote on it. Obviously, it was very popular, right? Yeah. You cannot deny that.
No,
it was more popular than some of the other games we put up.
Potentially one of the best Harry Potter games ever made, if not the best. That made a lot of fans happy. And yes, there was a little bit of some transgender character, really some minor character, whatever. Who cares?
But they didn't even focus on
Exactly. So why not put that game in there? But no, they can't do it. And so once again, you have to say the Game Awards is somewhat of a dumpster fire because they won't. I would have definitely put that in there as a contender for Game of the Year, but whatever. Stupid.
It's their loss as far as I'm concerned.
That's right.
I'm talking about the Summer Game Awards.
Exactly. It's their loss. It is their loss.
Right. I don't care if anybody wins an award nowadays because the awards are so,
there's too many award shows.
Yeah, for one. And and there have always been politics. And I'm talking about not necessarily, political, as in government type of politics, but, studio politics with people getting awards and such that. But in this case, it's gotten such a point that especially when they made known that, you could vote for America's Got Talent, whatever. But it doesn't matter if you vote. In the end run, we get the 50 cents or $1 per call. You'll be dialing in about 5, 10, 12 times to get your favorite singer in there. The final thing goes to us. So if you vote the way that we don't want, sorry, we already decided who's going to win.
Yeah, and every award show, website did this, everything. You never saw Hogwarts Legacy up for Game of the Year in their list. Never. It was
Nope.
it's just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. Ridiculous. But no,
Mhm.
it's so stupid. It's just more of this dumpster fire that just keeps happening in the gaming
Well,
industry. So,
not just it's just all across the board.
oh
So
yeah,
I
I'm
can,
just focused on games because we're focused on Hogwarts here. But yeah,
but the funny thing is just even how they wrote that out is almost like they're jabbing, letting people know how successful it was, despite
right,
everything,
exactly.
right? And I just can't wait to hear that musical sound of from all these moron, trendy
Yes,
idiots
that's
that
right.
are out there.
They pick other stuff, sir. You know, things for Nintendo and this and that, fine. But because this is tied to J.K. Rowling once again, we know you guys are cowards. You're scared.
Yep.
What if that did win Game of the Year? Would that piss all the people off who bought Beargate 3? I don't know. I'm not saying it would have, but
Well,
there's still that chance it could have.
the chubby chin beards, and that could be both men and women actually in that crowd. But the blue-haired land whales, they would be because they're the ones that were getting all wet and hot and bothered watching the screen at the one convention, and they're showing their reactions. Like, oh my god, just block the doors off right now. Don't let them out. Don't let them out, please. Don't let them out.
Yeah.
And so it. Yeah, I think Warner Brothers might actually be starting to wake up because they're all hurting for money.
They are,
and what we've been saying, the fans for these games, these franchises, have been saying how they've seen us pushed aside for these trendies that promise to do this stuff, but never follow through. But so the stuff that they pander, crash. But the things that they keep true and what the true fans want flourish. I think there's some light bulbs finally turning on. Like I said, it's part of that 5 years.
I hope so, man.
And we've been noticing. Things have been getting a little better as we've been going.
A little better.
A little better, but I still think
it's
we're
still mostly
a long ways out before
yes, we are.
We can clear all this crap.
Oh no, we're not going to clear all the crap out. I'm just saying that we'll see a dramatic change, and that's when the weeding comes out, and that's going to be, I'm sure, going to be involved with studios cutting off divisions or selling off divisions, selling off networks, ending networks, all that across the board because they can't afford it, and they have to reassess things. And there's been stuff that's still in the can that that they're doing because, it's been in the works for so long, they can't pull it out like Batgirl. But we're starting to see improvements.
Where streaming services are combining services. You got, Max and Disney combining. Wouldn't be surprised if Paramount Plus combines or goes away entirely at some point.
Yes.
Especially with the merger with Skydance, between Skydance and Paramount.
Yeah,
just my thought.
And hopefully Warner Brothers will get their brain together and be like, okay, these games as a service are a failure, but they can be so greedy and stupid, and they keep talking about, we're going to push more games as a service. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, well, it is.
Yeah, and the article continues by saying, rather than just launching a one and done console game, how do you develop a game around, for example, Hogwarts Legacy that is a live service where people can live and build and play in that world on an ongoing basis? Peretti said. Let's see. It finishes up by saying this launched fans into a frenzy, starting a petition begging Warner Brothers to not make the then hypothetical Hogwarts Legacy 2 a live service game. The petition currently has 7,500 signatures out of 10,000. The success of the game, combined with The executives seeing Harry Potter as one of the major gaming IPs and a clear and vocal fan base show a sequel is all but certain. The jobless teens would seem to cement the fact or the start of a massive upset if it was another project. And it very well could be another project. Let's not keep that off the table either.
Right.
I'll tell you this, DJ Ronnie G, my cash service would be fair to people and make sure that.
Well, he is Cash Monet.
Yeah, you'd have to tell him how much you admire his chin, how magnificent
Buyer's
it
chin.
is.
Yes. Buy into the
Yeah,
chin.
and if he doesn't accept your admiration for his chin, he can deny you the money you seek.
That's right. I like that. Oh man. Yeah, Warner Brothers and a lot of these other companies, even Naughty Dog, which used to be great, I'm still waiting. What are you guys going to do? Are you going to get your brain together and figure this out? Start making that moolah again?
Well, what about Insomniac in the Wolverine game?
I
I
know.
don't have any
Oh
hopes
my
for that.
God, I don't have hopes for it either. I don't like, and it's funny with Ratchet and Clank, there was none of that crap in there. I'm like, wow, you guys really put together a solid game. You should be proud of this. Now do better again. Get away from this politics shit. And people, I'm sure other people, oh, they can do what they want. Sure they can. But when they lose money and they divide their fan base, how is that smart? They don't, if they don't
It's
care,
not.
then let the company burn.
Right.
God, that's stupid. That goes for any of these companies. They're just the stuff is just dumb. Absolutely dumb.
Well, yeah, we know that.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on to our next article here, we have one from Superhero Hype. It's related to Deadpool and Wolverine. And it says Deadpool and Wolverine director reveals Emma Corrin's original Cassandra Nova camera test photos. This article was posted on July 31st, and it's by Brendan Schur. Sean Levy has shared Emma Corrin's, excuse me, while I post the link over to Rumble. All right, so Sean Levy has shared Emma Corrin's original test camera photos as Cassandra Nova for Deadpool and Wolverine. Marvel Studios' Deadpool and Wolverine is currently playing in United States theaters. The film sees Corrin play the villainous Cassandra Nova alongside Ryan Reynolds, Wade Wilson, Deadpool, and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. On Instagram, director Sean Levy shared photos of Corrin's original camera test as Cassandra Nova. Emma Corrin appreciation post, Levy wrote, "We never had a second choice to play Cassandra Nova. From our very first camera test, first two picks, we knew Emma Louise Corrin was the one. Prior to Deadpool and Wolverine, Corrin starred in 2020's Misbehavior, 2022's My Policeman, and 2023's Good Grief." Sounds like a Charlie Brown film.
She kind of looks like Charlie Brown. What do you mean?
Come on, I was trying to make it funny there.
I was following through.
She also played Esme Winkus in 2019's Pennyworth and Diana in The Crown Season 4, while she'll soon be seen in Roger Eggers' Nosferatu.
Looks pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like Nosferatu.
Oh, well, yeah. What is Deadpool and Wolverine about? It's about a wisecracking, sarcastic jerk named Deadpool.
Oh, it sounded like you were talking about me. Sorry. Oh, okay.
Also known as Baron Pool, who seeks the help of one Wolverine. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but I'll let them spoil it. 6 years after the events of Deadpool 2, which in my opinion wasn't all that great, Wade Wilson is retired as the mercenary Deadpool and lives a quiet life until the Time Variance Authority, TVA, a bureaucratic organization that exists outside of time and space and monitors the timeline. Where have we heard that before? Where have we seen that before? Yeah, anybody? Anybody? Could you think of a TV show that actually had an organization like this pop up from time to time? A science fiction series where they boldly went where no one has gone before.
Oh, that ruins my guess. I was going to say Family Matters, but okay.
I know. I like Family Matters.
Can anybody remember Lieutenant Daniels?
Possibly.
I don't know.
Or 7 and 9 partaking in certain time altering events only to try to correct time.
No.
A group that does temporal investigations, and depending on what time period they come from, they have starships that can travel to different points in time.
Doctor Who.
Yep. Back to the Future. Come on, man.
Oh yeah, the Klingon who has the car. Yeah,
that's right, man.
yes, the Klingon who comes to Earth, and he tells the human, "I gotta find the clip." He tells the human this, and he's disguised as a human when he tells him.
My calculations are correct. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.
For sure, man. Klingon would be like, "Yeah, I want to see that shit. Come on."
You.
I want to see that. Yeah, not the shit you're thinking of, Baron. Dang it.
Yeah, but anyways, Wade's home universe is facing an existential threat. Wilson reluctantly joins an even more reluctant Wolverine on a mission that will change history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I don't know if it's going to change it drastically. And as I said last week, I don't believe that one movie is going to save the MCU. No. It's going to take multiple movies that actually are a hit, that actually strike a chord with its audience.
That's right. Exactly.
To do it. But yeah. You know what? She could play a female version of Picard.
It's true.
Because she's playing Xavier's sister, so there you go.
Yes.
She looks freaky.
Yeah,
he's obviously talking about the hot tub time machine. Actually, that's a funny movie. I like the first one. I don't like the second one.
The second one, no. Without John Cusack, nope.
Yeah.
It does not as good.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It just doesn't
even
work.
if he is a twist.
No, not him. Come on, man.
No, not John Cusack.
He's a wonderful person. Come on, man. He never says anything stupid and stuff. He's Baron Pop.
I thought it was Cusack Pop.
Cusack Pop. John Cusack.
There's a guy. Oh yeah, I'm a diehard Cub fan. White Sox are the World Series. Oh, I've always loved the White Sox.
What? He actually said
that. Is he?
What the fuck?
Are you trying to say? Are you trying to say these new faces? Oh, come on, Hollywood people aren't that way.
Come on, man.
Oh no, never.
It's your floaties. No, but really, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. All right, so. Speaking of Deadpool and Wolverine, we do have the box office for this weekend. Woo-hoo! This comes from Deadline.
Yep, and I got to give Deadline credit. They also talked about this situation with the Comic-Con, so it's good that a number of I saw at least 20 or so media sites or more were talking about this. I'd fucking hope so. That Comic-Con stuff, yeah. Anyways,
guys,
but again,
guys,
you can give
guys,
them praise, but why does it take
I
them so
agree.
long to actually cover it?
I know.
Why?
Should be like boom, instant, yeah.
guys, it's on a live line, not deadline. Gotta get with the thing here. We have to think of sensitivities on a live line.
Deadline.
So it says here, Deadpool and Wolverine, fierce, 97 million second weekend. Traps 15 million plus. Harold and the Purple Crayon, erased from existence.
It's erased, Jim.
This is heavy, Doc.
Erased. Yeah. Where's the trigger? Where's it?
All right. It says at 395.5 million, Deadpool and Wolverine is the highest grossing R-rated movie ever at the domestic box office, surpassing Passion of the Christ, 370.7 million for that film, as well as the previous two Deadpools this weekend. Deadpool at 363 million and Deadpool 2 at 324.6 million. This is after a phenomenal second weekend of 97 million. The eighth best second weekend ever, ahead of Barbie's 93 million second frame a year ago, but also the fifth best second frame ever for an MCU movie. Currently, it's not expected for Deadpool and Wolverine to ride past 100 million. Running global cume is 824.1 million. This movie is headed to $1 billion even without Russia. Final industry production for the Sean Levy directed, Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman starring title stateside is $500 million. It's funny.
You know what that means? You know what that means? Disney Marvel is back, baby.
Baron, I'm going to be the bearer of bad news here.
How about new?
It's funny, even in boom times at the box office, the entertainment media can be cynical, saying the few films work at the box office that theatrical is still broken. That's horseshit. This is the third highest grossing weekend of the year at the box office, with an estimated 173 million after Deadpool and Wolverine led frame last weekend of 284.8 million, and Inside Out 2's weekend on June 14th through the 16th of 213.9 million per Box Office Mojo. It's evident we now have an inventory post-strike, which will keep a turnstile momentum outside of Deadpool and Wolverine's success. We had Twisters pulling up second place with a third weekend of 22.6 million and barreling toward 200 million stateside, and an M. Night Shyamalan thriller Trap, which didn't collapse and missed its projections with 15.6 million opening. Twisters, in addition to being the tornado film we haven't seen in a while, has a lot of heart in Daisy Edgar Jones and hunk in Glenn Powell.
I can't believe it. Deadline, which is a professional journalistic site, right? Calling it horse shit. Wow. Yeah, the Pulitzer is yeah.
For all this talk of industry contraction, motion picture executives can now wake up to the box office renaissance and get theatrical movies into production. There is money in cinema. Stop with this. We'll wait until the election excuse. people will still be going to the movies well after Trump or Harris get in. And even if Trump loses, there's still an untapped audience in the heartland for red state themed features. Hollywood never ramped up enough American sniper like movies post the Clint Eastwood Bradley Cooper 2015 film, which played like a Marvel title to the middle of the country to 350.1 million. Let's see. You know what? I don't have to read the rest of this article.
Why do they have to put that in about politics? Oh, I forgot it's deadline. Of course. Okay.
Right.
Well, they're no different than any other news outlet out there. They always got to throw some political dig in there. It's like, no, just talk about the movies. Talk about how between Barbie and Oppenheimer last year, then you have Inside Out 2 and Deadpool and Wolverine this year. They're pretty much carrying the box office.
They are 2 movies. That's it.
2 movies this year, 2 movies last year.
Yeah, Twisters did well, and I would say a Quiet Place did well. Day one, Quiet Place Day 1 has done pretty well, but I would say yes, you got 2 major movies that are going to. Well, Deadpool will just another week, maybe 2 weeks. They'll make over $1 billion, but worldwide.
I think they'll hit it this week.
Okay, they might. Yeah, they probably will. You only got 2 movies where in the past we've had more movies that I would say made over $1 billion, that made easily over $1 billion, at least 4 or 5, 6, something. It was just a lot more money because
pandemic, you had several movies that were hitting the $1 billion mark.
That's true. Yep. Exactly.
You're not seeing it now because there's still not packed theaters. Even when I saw Deadpool and Wolverine last weekend,
there was a lot of
theater
people,
wasn't packed,
not completely packed, but there was a lot of people there. So, yeah,
some people, hate to break it to you, to those who may not like it, but some people find alternative means to watch these movies.
They do. It's true.
What?
And that's nothing new either.
No,
not at all.
It's yeah.
So now we're going to take a look at an article from Cosmic Book News, and Cash and I are going to give our own thoughts after 2 episodes that we've seen.
Yes.
I haven't seen any of it. I want to put my 18 cents worth in because I have a viewpoint that no one else has ever had before. And, not watching this stuff, I know more than you.
Okay.
Wow. Not arrogant at all. Okay, sure.
No, I'm not. I'm glad you realized I'm not. I never said I was.
Right. Not an elitist attitude at all. Mm-hmm. Sure.
Are you trying to say I'm elitist? Are you trying to say that?
You can be, yeah.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
God.
Shit. Hey.
I got a new toy.
And Padawannabe says, yes, it's a bit broken, and we should be expecting several more movies to do these numbers by the end of the year. In the boom, we might have a few movies make these numbers in the same month. Yeah, there were. I mean, think about it. When you had the first Avengers movie come out, and I'm trying to think what else came out in 2012.
Shit.
That also competed with. I'm going to look it up on Box Office Mojo real quick.
Okay.
So give me a second, and then we'll get into this article from Cosmic.
I'm happy to always tell people, yes, there are movies this summer that you can go see, even more than 1 or 2, 3 or 4, maybe even 5, but it still doesn't change the fact that summer movies are not what they used to be. Because you would be like, oh, I can't wait for this. And even
the marketing's different for the people's interests.
Exactly. You've got streaming now, of course. So, yes, people have more choices, but not that what they had before was bad. Even, of course, some movie theaters have closed down, but now people like Nicole Kidman, oh, they care so much about the movie theaters, like AMC.
Well, yeah. Well, she's been doing those commercials for what, 2 years now?
Yeah, at least, yeah. I'm not saying the AMC isn't a bad theater, but it's
No.
nice to always have choices to go to other theaters. Yes, that are
Okay,
now closed down.
so I knew The Dark Knight Rises was a part of the 2012 lineup as well, but I'm going to show the complete lineup
Ooh.
here real quick.
Nice.
But I mean, look at this, and this is just the domestic gross. Keep in mind, but the top domestic film for 2012 was The Avengers.
Great movie.
Yeah,
Like
and that had a total gross of 623,357 $7,910. I mean, that made a lot of money. Then you had The Dark Knight Rises. That still made money at the box office, 448 million. Then you had The Amazing Spider-Man.
Another quality movie, I'd say, very good. First one.
Yeah,
very good.
it still made 262 million. I can remember a friend of mine and we went the day The Dark Knight Rises came out. We went and saw The Amazing Spider-Man earlier in the day. Then we came back to meet up with some friends to watch The Dark Knight Rises.
Nice.
Yeah. Then
Wow,
you
it's
had Brave.
a geek weekend. Wow, I like.
Look, you had Brave. Brave did well.
Brave was a good movie. Ted.
Yep, Ted was very good. Yeah, very funny.
Then you had the third Madagascar film. You also had Men in Black
quality
3.
film. Yep, that wasn't a bad movie either. I would still say that was a good film. Yeah.
Ice Age.
Yeah.
Snow White and the Huntsman. That was popular for a while. It wanted a sequel.
Yeah.
Prometheus.
Yeah.
And you know there were people that went crazy over the Magic Mike.
Right.
Yeah.
The Bourne Legacy's on there. Yeah.
Yep.
Expendables 2, which was good. Dark Shadows wasn't so much.
Battleship, not so much.
Why we're going to make a game movie about Dark Shadows. I don't think Dark Shadows is bad.
No.
The Dictator was that year too. That was a very funny movie. Okay.
Barat, yeah. I mean, what's his name? Barat doing it.
Sacha Baron Cohen.
Yeah. They had their Total Recall, but as Roger Ebert sat back and said, "Isn't it funny that the Arnold Schwarzenegger one was more thoughtful, more deep than that one?" The remake.
Yeah. I've never really watched the remake. I think I've watched pieces.
I never seen it. I never wanted to see it.
I've never been tempted.
Yeah.
So, we're going to get into this article from Cosmic Book News. And then Cash and I are going to give our thoughts on the first two episodes. So, this article was posted 18 hours ago. It's by Matt McLeod. And it says Batman Cape Crusader Rotten Tomato score is in. Critics, fans divided. The new series isn't resonating with fans like the original. I had some comments as we were watching it last night. Didn't I, Cash?
Yes. Me too.
It stinks.
No.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
No.
You know what really grinds my gears?
More like that. More like that.
A little bit. A bit. Not completely.
The new Batman Cape Crusader animated series is now streaming on Amazon Prime Video with all 10 episodes available, which has critics and fans divided. The Batman Cape Crusader Rotten Tomatoes score excuse me. The Batman Cape Crusader Rotten Tomatoes score is in, and it's currently at 98% with the critics with 52 reviews. However, for the fans, it's a different story. The Batman Cape Crusader Rotten Tomatoes audience score is only 67% with over 100 ratings, none of which can be read for some reason. And then this was their update yesterday. Audience score has dropped to 63% with over 250 ratings from fans.
He read for some reason. Okay.
Shady. It says the audience score is a stark comparison as the audience score for Batman the Animated Series is at 94%. And with good reason. That's a great series. It still
Classic.
holds up today.
Oh yeah, amazing series.
IMDb is similar as Cape Crusader has a 7.6 rating, while Batman the Animated Series has a 9.0. The author says, I watched the first 3 episodes. I like the first 2 a lot, but it goes downhill with episode 3.
See what you have to look forward to.
I also feel there was no need to gender swap the Penguin. Oswalda is actually a really cool villain. Why not make her a new character? Because they're afraid. They're afraid to make new characters, afraid to make new IPs.
Yep. She could have just been not even connected to the Penguin at all and just been this woman.
She could have been her own thing.
Enforcer. Oh, yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Her own separate entity.
That's right.
What they did is wipe away 80 years of history simply for the sake of going woke. Makes no sense. They wiped out 80 years worth of comics, 80 years worth of work from legendary creators, and it's an FU to the fans that have supported DC throughout the years. Well, even all the female characters seem to share the same character design. They may make some minor changes here and there, but they seem to all share the same character design.
Yeah. And the animation isn't bad. I mean, it is still Bruce Timm. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, but here's a perfect example of one of my gripes.
I know.
The shading, the darkness, the lighting. Why?
I know. I don't like it either, man. Mike and I couldn't stop nitpicking when we were watching the show.
She's like a ninja.
I mean, especially in the second episode, where you have one lamp that's on and it should be illuminating the character's face somewhat. And then they turn on 3 other lamps. And that should be brightening up the rooms where you should see even more lighting and shading on the character. But no, she's still left in the dark. It's like, what in the fuck, DC? Yes. What in the fuck, WB?
Mm-hmm.
And what's also a damn shame is that you see all the white characters. I know some people are going to say, oh no, Pop Talk's gone woke. But no, hear me out. You see the white characters. You can see them perfectly plain as day. But when you have a character of different ethnicity, not only are they in the dark, but they also shade them darker, like you see here.
Yeah, it's like, weird.
What in the fuck?
It's just stupid. I'm like, why are we doing this? Just some bad lighting, really, on these.
Yeah.
And we know they're dark characters. That doesn't mean that they don't deserve good lighting. Come on, man.
We haven't made it,
dude.
We even made comparisons, Cash, between Batman the Animated Series, how they did the lighting and shading back then using cell animation to
That's
this.
Right. That's right.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
And you know what? I have to agree with this next part. Same with Barbara Gordon, who comes off as a man-hater. Or how about Bruce Wayne is forced to undergo therapy for punching some dude in the face while Selena Kyle goes free when everybody knows she's a thief. I was left scratching my head. Welcome to the clown world.
That's what we get to look forward to, Mike. Because
you said
you want to finish this. You said you want to finish an episode. Let's do it.
Yes, we will. We will do it. We're not doing this for clicks. We're doing this so we can accurately and adequately judge this for ourselves.
Exactly, dude.
Ooh. Okay. But no, I mean, another thing too is back in that day, they're going to force Bruce Wayne to undergo therapy. They
They
wouldn't
would
have
have
done
cared.
that.
They wouldn't have given a shit. We're talking about the 1940s. People wouldn't
Yeah.
have given a shit.
Yes. No.
We were punching each other out all the time back in the 40s.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. People, back in the day, they would fight each other, and then later on, hey, you want to come over?
Well,
Yeah.
it's just like the second episode. Like Bullock says something, to the woman, "Hey, sweetie, don't call me sweetie," and then nothing else happens. He doesn't say anything else, like whatever or something like that. Nothing. Let's add a little bit more banter, like we've had. Whatever.
Yeah, and we do have a member chat from Jason Fox of 540 Studio.
I see that.
I'd buy that for $1.
He says Rebel Moon director's cuts are 10 out of 10. Well, so far from the 2 episodes I've seen of Batman Cape Crusader, I'm saying it's mediocre at best.
Yes, it is. I agree.
It's nothing to write home about.
No.
Some of the dialogue choices are questionable. Some of the characters, their motivations, just don't seem to line up with the greatness that we've gotten before with Batman. I mean, even Batman Beyond was a great series.
Yes.
Batman the Brave and the Bold was a great series.
Really good series too. Yep. Justice League Unlimited, all that stuff was a lot of really good.
I mean, for Barbara Gordon to come off as such a, I'm gonna say it, such a bitch.
She was.
It's unnecessary.
It is.
Well, how was the voice work for Batman? Do you feel?
It's not terrible. It's just
I don't. I'll let you go first, Cash. I'll let you go first.
I just Linkletter, right? Is the voice who's playing, who is, look, and if you want to watch him, as I've said before, watch the old Adventures of New Christine and watch him in Legion. He can't act. It's just when we listen to him, he got better in the second episode. Maybe he's just still working on it. It was hard to tell, is he supposed to be Batman or is he supposed to be Bruce Wayne? There has to be a lighter tone, in my opinion, when it's Bruce Wayne talking. When it's Batman, then it gets darker. Then it gets gruff.
Because that's one thing I told Cash when we were watching it. I don't feel that he's able to separate his Batman voice from his Bruce Wayne voice. They're the same voice.
They got a little better, and maybe as the more episodes that Mike and I watch, it will start getting even better. But, even you take Christian Bale, you can say what you want about his Batman voice, but it was still different than...
What do you mean? What do you mean? There's no problem with... There's no problem with the Christian Bale voice. Everybody knows this.
Everything knows. I told you.
I'm Batman.
Yeah. Where's the Joker? But like I said, as much as you make fun of it, it really just didn't bother me that much.
What do you mean?
It's fun to
I'm not making fun of it. I'm just doing an imitation of it. It's the greatest Batman voice I've ever heard.
Once again, though, no, but once again, his voice still sounded different between Batman and Bruce Wayne, and that isn't.
Who's the Penguin?
Who's the Penguin? Where did he go?
Hey, Alfred. Oh, Mr. Wayne. Hey, how you doing, Alfred? Mr. Wade, why are you using your Batman voice? I no longer can separate myself from Batman and
That's
Bruce
how
Wayne.
it is in this show. It is, man.
I'm Batwayne.
I'm constipated. That's why.
Oh man, yeah. So hopefully he'll separate it more as the episodes go on, but we'll see.
And see, I know somebody out there is going to say, Mike, you can't compare it to the animated series. You can't compare the voice acting for Batman between the new actor and Kevin Conroy. But when Batman the Animated Series set the bar so high, and Bruce Timm is a part of this series, just as he was with Batman the Animated Series, I do have expectations for
Yes.
how Batman should be in the animated world, even if this isn't connected to any previous continuity. There are
Exactly.
certain expectations I still have for Batman because it's Batman. There are
Yes.
certain things you expect to
That's
see.
right. How much studying did you do of Kevin Conroy, Linkletter? That's what I would like to know. Mm-hmm.
None.
And Jason Fox of 540 Studio is saying Bale sounds the same through the movies. He sounds like Bruce taking a shit.
Oh boy, yeah. Well, he's always like that about. But remember, his favorite Batman is Ben Affleck. So just take that with however you want. Boo!
Keaton,
No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't care.
Keaton is the GOAT. Keaton is the GOAT.
Keaton
When it
is
comes
very
to
good.
the live action movie Batmans, I don't compare him to Adam West.
No, they're all
Because some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Right.
No, Keaton was very good. Bale's still my favorite, but without Keaton, we don't get Bale. Yeah,
Without Batman 89,
No.
you don't get
that's right.
the Dark Knight.
So James Gunn shitting on Batman 89 still pisses me the hell off. Anyways, oh well. I don't want to get on a rant on that.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
But
Uh-oh. Oh,
Not doing
no.
it.
Oh, no. We're so close. We're so close, aren't we? We're so close.
You know what really grinds my gears?
We're not, Baron.
I,
For you,
I'm
we
sure,
are.
I'm sure, Baron, for
No.
your sake, everyone else's sake, after Cash and I see the remaining episodes,
Yes.
I'm sure, if we have them done before Wednesday or if we have them done before next Sunday's Pop Talk,
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to have something to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure I'll hear about it beforehand. I know I will. But yeah, it's that as far as I can kind of tell, this seems like it's a great missed opportunity of having true vintage retro Batman. And they're trying to fill up with more check marks than they are actually doing.
Because
I didn't mind though.
I
Dietrich
can't
Baker, Oh, go ahead.
I can't speak for you, Cash.
Right.
But I'll speak for myself. You can see J.J. Abrams' fingerprints all over this.
Yeah, I do see some of that. I do, and when he's taken on things that have been around for a long time, not just doing his own thing, which is the same thing about Ruin Johnson and some of these other people. It's like, listen, how much studying did you guys do? Every executive producer, everybody who works on this show, including Bruce Timm, even though of course he was a big part of the animated series and Justice League and so on. It's just like, how much research did you guys do on this? Because Dietrich Baker as Harvey Dent is good. I like him, actually. I do.
Yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but that guy studies, I believe, just like Phil Lamar. Look at how good he was as Franklin. Oh my gosh, how fucking good he was.
Even John DiMaggio,
Babylon.
he's good in.
Oh, good. Yeah. Oh, he's great too. Yes. How much studying did these guys do with the Batman? How much did they watch of Kevin Conroy? I just want to say what Baird says. None. Zero. They just saw a clip. That was it. They saw a clip. They saw a clip.
They heard a few lines. They heard a voice clip. And they said, no, I'm not going to do it that way.
I mean, heck, the other night playing Arkham Cities for shits and giggles, I went, I am vengeance. I am the knight. I am Batman.
Mm-hmm.
No, granted, it doesn't have the same gravitas as Kevin Conroy. I wasn't trying to give it that gravitas.
No.
But that's how impactful Kevin
Yeah.
Conroy as Batman
has once
been.
Again, as I said, say what you want about Bale, but Bruce Wayne and Batman sound different, that's how it's supposed to be. Michael Keaton and Batman sound different. That's how it's supposed to always be. Adam West sounds a little bit different when he's
I
Batman
was
than
gonna
when
say,
he's Bruce
even
Wayne.
in the 66
Yes.
series,
Hey,
there's a difference
gosh.
to how Batman sounded.
These
There was a
things should
difference to even
always
how
matter.
Robin sounded.
Exactly. Yes. These should be always important. Yeah. Maybe it'll get better as the
Maybe it'll get better as the episodes go on,
Exactly.
and maybe it'll warrant a second season.
That's right.
But again,
how many episodes again?
There's
10 episodes.
There's
10
Okay.
episodes. And let's go ahead. I know the TV market is different nowadays. The way they produce series is different nowadays. But I'm gonna go ahead and bring up Batman the Animated Series and show how many episodes just the first season had.
longer episodes too.
Yeah.
Yeah, these episodes are only 20 minutes each, Baron. So take that for what
So
it is.
I'll go ahead and switch screens real quick. I mean, let's just watch these clips. Look at the shading and lighting catch,
I know.
even when they're in dark areas.
I know.
In this series, when you compare it to Cape Crusader.
Yes.
This is all cell animation, folks. This isn't computer trying to emulate cell animation. This is all cell animation.
Amazing series.
Wonderful series.
Still just
holds
look
up
at
today.
Justice League Unlimited. Just look at, even if there's some stuff in there, because Spock and I have talked about
And look, flames coming out of the Batmobile.
I know. So cool.
that was one of my nitpicks about the new Batmobile. Okay,
I
where are the
know.
flames?
The design wasn't bad though, but yeah,
No,
I agree with you, bro. Yeah.
No, but getting back to what I was going to show anyway. So let's go to season 1. Okay, so Batman the Animated Series. Look. Oh my gosh.
What?
Oh my gosh.
And look at the newer styling they have in it.
Yes.
Yeah, I know they're trying to capture that in this series too. But
Yeah.
when you look at how it was done in the animated series, which I wasn't really sure. I wanted to say it had 40 episodes in the first season, but it had
50?
a total of 50 episodes in the first season.
Impressive.
Almost one a week.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and you know what? As I scroll back up here, not a one of these episodes so far is below a 7.
No.
Not
Yeah,
a
and
one.
user reviews on IMDb are very harsh about stuff. Very harsh.
No, there's one
Even,
6 points going up there.
Even man, they're harsh on Babylon 5 as well. It's like, but I think that's around an 8 or something overall.
Yeah,
user
okay.
scores.
So you got a 6.7 here, but I mean, one so far out of 50
Yep.
episodes.
Yeah.
There's a second one.
Okay, there's a second one, but
Okay.
but still factor in. there's
No,
a
that's still
third.
very good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Even with those three, people could still sit down and watch the episode and still get enjoyment out of it.
Of course. But yeah, user reviews can be very harsh on shows. It's like, what? This is only a 6.5 out of a 10, or this is only a 7.5 out of 10. Come on, guys.
I mean, the voice talent back for Batman the Animated Series is good. And you look at the voice
amazing.
casting for Batman Cape Crusader.
Yes.
Well, let's go ahead and look at it.
And I guess the reason they do these 10, 8 episodes on streaming is like it's something to do with Well, I guess that was more on HBO, but that way they don't have to do any commercials, or so it's like you're still gonna have commercials. So why not do 15 at least? Why not
Yeah.
do 10?
Yeah,
I
because
still feel
Amazon's still going to advertise their content.
exactly. I still feel One Piece because of that last arc that's related to the anime. They could have been at least 10 episodes. I think they could have. I thought they rushed that last arc just a little bit because I had seen that already on the anime. So
Yeah. So
Well, listen,
you
you.
have Hamish Linklater, who's Batman Bruce Wayne. You have Jason Watkins, who's Alfred Pennyworth. Quality voice acting in Diedrich Bader.
Yep.
John DiMaggio. And I'm surprised Baron's not ready to play this clip. So I'll go ahead and play it.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Sorry, I didn't think it. Okay. I'll do better next time.
Gary Anthony Williams, quality actor. And Eric Morgan Stewart. I'm not familiar with him, unfortunately. Michelle Bonilla. Not really familiar with her. Bumper Robertson. I know who he is. Jeff Bennett. I know who he is. And I'm familiar with Greg Griffin. I'll admit some of these I'm not familiar with. James Arnold Taylor. I am familiar with him.
Yes.
Obi-Wan.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also young Dr. Emmett Brown in the Back to the Future the game.
That's all. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we have talked about that. That's cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, still, you have quality voice actors in there, and
yes, you do, and that doesn't always mean anything, but
yeah. But I mean, look at this. You have the blinds open behind Gordon, and you're not seeing much light coming through. Not even much light on Gordon himself.
Am I missing something? I don't see anything.
Yeah, you're not.
Look at that.
You're not sharing anything, man.
Here, I'll show it.
Well, it helps if you're talking about this.
Would have been the first time I didn't show something when I was talking about it.
I know. I don't like that. It's like we know the character is dark. Why is the lighting not better on the character? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I only see a silhouette.
I hope you're only joking, Baron.
No, I'm just saying that's how bad it is. I am joking.
Yeah.
All I see is a silhouette, which is in reference to the fact that this only works when you first open up and you have the window open behind with the sun coming through. But then you change it so you can see the face. You should be doing it for a dramatic effect, not for the whole scene.
There are some woke moments.
Yeah. There is. I just didn't. I'm like, look, what is this whole thing about Barbara? Why is she such a bitch? Like, yeah, she can be bitchy, but she has so much of she's well-rounded. I'll just go with that. She has more of a personality than I'm just a bitch. I hate men. Yeah.
I mean, look at this for Harley Quinn. What the hell were they thinking?
We haven't gotten there yet.
I know we haven't gotten there yet, Cash, but
I know. It's just the lighting. I know, man. It's just it's ridiculous, bro.
And again, I know they're trying to set a mood. They're trying to make it more of a noir, but still,
right?
They're not well. First of all,
and look at this. The same thing I mentioned last night, Cash. Why are they keeping the characters of a different ethnicity?
I don't know.
In the shadow.
I have no fucking idea.
And there's sunlight coming through this window, so that sunlight should be shining on her.
Yes, it should.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it should. Look, the thing you guys have to understand, if you watched a lot of the Batman the Animated Series, Batman Adventures, whatever, you can't stop being picky about this stuff because you've seen greatness or you've seen a classic show. And they're continuing stuff of this, or they're doing an alternate canon. Yeah, that's what they're doing.
I was-
But yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, no, that's a Catwoman I can get behind.
Uh-huh.
That at least is a good design. At least,
Yeah, well, I mean, Bruce Timm did these designs, all of them, as far as I know. So yeah.
Well, he missed some of them.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if he did all of them. Actually, I'd have to look into that. But yeah.
And again,
That just doesn't look right.
No.
I just feel Penguin looks trans, but that's just my opinion.
From Turkey, right?
Yeah.
No, that's a pretty, good.
No, I can understand seeing the silhouette of Batman here.
Yes.
Right.
I
Mhm.
get that.
Yes.
Because the light would be behind him.
Yes.
Right. Any
But in
character
cases-
can be done like that for dramatic effect.
But in cases like that one shot where you're seeing Montoya, she's sitting in the chair and there's a window and
I
there's
don't
light
understand
coming
it.
through that window.
Right.
With that.
Yes.
Because it's not like she's sitting all the way behind the curtains against the wall.
No.
She's sitting in a position where the light would still hit the chair. It would also still hit her.
Do you think it's because they're emphasizing the skin
look
color
at this.
even more?
There's Barbara.
Yeah, yes. And that's one of the reasons why I'm saying they're being woke.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they're trying to emphasize the fact that these characters have a different ethnicity. But doesn't that contradict what they are always preaching about us?
Yes.
Doesn't that make them look like the racist? I don't know. Maybe I'm just shooting off the wall here. And
Well, I think they are.
Yes.
I mean, I think they do a lot of projecting, and they're projecting their own stuff.
Yeah. You've got Gordon here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, their shading choices are just questionable. Okay,
No, that's
here. Here, I understand because he's
Mm-hmm.
behind a tinted window, so you're just again seeing the silhouette, and they're adding the eyes for the effect.
Mm-hmm.
And why is it that Batman and Alfred are getting better lighting than any other characters?
In the
Every
Batcave,
character-
no less.
Yeah, every character, when they're the prominent character in that scene, you should be able to see them as clear as day. You shouldn't have to be going, wow, look at this darkness, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't hate the Harley Quinn design, but I'm also used to the animated series Harley Quinn, which you still see that design today. And
Mm-hmm.
but I honestly don't see the Cape Crusader being as successful as the animated series or any previous Batman animated series that
I don't
has
either.
come since Batman the animated series.
Right. No. We gotta remember. Don't forget the failed Batgirl movie.
True.
I
They
still want
showed
to
that.
see that just to see. how
I'm
bad
so curious to see how bad it actually was.
or if
It
it's
may-
a little bit better. Yeah.
It may turn out to be one of those movies where it's so bad it's good.
Mm-hmm.
If you get what
I
I'm
think-
saying.
Yeah, I think they canceled it because she can't run properly. I think that's what they canceled the movie. It's like, we can't work with this.
Okay.
Heck, if they wanted somebody who runs like crap, they could have hired me. Yeah, you want somebody to run like they have lead in their foot, in their shoes? Okay, I'm your guy.
There we go. Hey, what a job. You could be her stunt double.
Oh, yay. But yeah.
Gimme.
I'm just your stunt double. I'm just the guy that runs, so she
Yeah.
doesn't have to.
Right. Come on, man. Come on, man. Jace Pop's a bad dude.
Calm down, Jace. Calm down.
I'm just scared that he's getting fantasies. That's the only thing I'm scared of.
No. Please don't get fantasies. And please don't tattoo Pacific414 wherever
I
you
wouldn't
plan
even
to tattoo it.
Why did you even say something? Now you
That's
brought it
right.
back into his forefront.
Come
of
on,
his
man. Mike Pop's a bad dude.
Because you know how crazy he is. He's Norwegian.
I bet you forgot about it until now.
He doesn't forget about that.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah.
He likes you.
I can think of other things to get tattooed on a person's body, and Pacific414 is not the first thing that comes to mind.
No, at least we were able to talk him down from doing it on the wing ski. So, like he originally had planned.
No, you won't, Jace. No, you won't. But is there anything on the positive side that you guys want to end with instead of Cash and mainly me sounding like grumpy old men?
No, you guys are.
Yes, because here on Pop Talk,
waiting for it. I'm waiting for it.
Everything sucks.
Yeah.
That's what they say. Pop Talk's dishing out negativity every single day. They're always on a rant, no matter what's in sight.
Amen.
It's funny.
Amen. Amen.
Positive. Go see. You're finally looking for a Marvel movie to make you happy. Go watch Disney Marvel movie. Go watch Deadpool and Wolverine. Go watch that. That'll put a
Disney
smile on
Marvel
your face.
is back.
No, it's
baby.
not. That doesn't
no,
mean
Baron,
it's back.
no, it's not back. One movie does not mean it's back. Even if it was a Star Trek series, that was good. I would say one Star Trek series.
Nope.
Does not make up for all the crap that we
I'm
received.
sorry.
Kurtzman
I'm so
and Co.
very,
taking charge.
very sorry. That's great.
You think it's great? I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. Wow. There goes. Yeah. Hey.
Well, Jace, you know what? I just got one thing to say to you, my friend.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Yeah, I know Jace wants me to watch the Snyder Cut versions, but I don't know. After that second part, I felt the same as Mike. I just was kind of done with Rebel Moon. I like Korra. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't think Korra's a bad character, and I like the fact she's not a Mary Sue, but it took like an hour at least, I felt, to actually start getting to the point.
It took an hour for that.
That's just how I feel. I'm glad
Rebel Moon Part 2 to get going. And then when it started to get going, you still had the slow motion, which slowed everything down for the story. It ruined the story, in my opinion.
I just couldn't see myself, Jace, wanting to watch the Snyder Cut version of those films. If I liked Part 2 a lot more, I think I would. Yeah, I get that, man.
I get that too. If you're having the full unedited version, of course it's going to be different. Of course, the things are going to be more connected, more cohesive, but that also means you're going to get more slow motion from Zack Snyder.
The whole film's in slow motion, I understand. I do have.
Sometimes I feel like I'm in slow motion when I'm getting up.
Yeah. Oh no, that's me. Yeah. Oh, definitely me.
How much less
there's
slow
only-
though in a 3-hour part 1 and a 3-hour part 2, or what did they do? Just combine it into 6 hours? Isn't part 1 and part 2 of the cut
Part one's supposed to be 3
has to be
hours.
like
Part
3
two is
hours?
also supposed to be 3
3 hours,
hours.
so it should be
So
like
6 hours
total
total.
6. Yeah. Slow
The
mo. How much
catatonic
is it
state.
reduced though, man? That's what I'd like to know, Jace. How much is
2
it?
frames. 2
2
frames.
frames. Is-
You know what? I do have one thing though. Can we please start naming children something that isn't because you made the dog eat Scrabble tiles and whatever they shit out in order is what the name of the kid is going to be?
Sure.
I mean, with some names I was seeing, I might as well be speaking like this.
Gesundheit.
I might as well be speaking Klingon.
I think Klingon would be even better.
I mean, I know I'm one to say when there are certain names I come across that I can't pronounce them to save my life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Barrett, anything you'd like to promote that's positive?
My COVID test.
Barrett, I don't think that's something you want to have come back as positive.
Oh, okay. No, well, you wanted something positive. It's positive. No, anything positive, really. Wow. I really don't know. I mean, other than the fact that we're really getting going on our kind of, you might see our little trial for the war room with our cranky old fans that we're doing. I'm really happy that Cash liked my intro, and by the way, thank you, Mike, for helping me out with those images. And yeah, it's going to be interesting when we do that. So I think that's positive. No, I'm purposely taking a different way of approaching things because we don't want to copy everybody, now, don't we? It's like, I wanted to have that straight off the bat. I think I'm very positive with my making that intro. It's like, yeah, I still got it, man. I still got it, so. But
yeah, Baron messaged me and said, "Please, sir, I need help removing the background from this image. Could you please help me, sir? Please."
No. Come on, Mike. That wasn't what it was. It was like, nah, Mike, I don't know how to do this. Can you please do this for me? Please?
No, you're doing it in the wrong voice. I'm Jesse Ventura. I was the governor.
I didn't want to have to pay. I didn't want to have to pay him royalties to use it again. So, but okay, well, yeah, I got these images. I need to have them transparent. Can you go and do that for me? I'm gonna sit on the couch wearing my Zubas, watching TV, and I go commando. I wish I could say these were not the things we heard while it was in the governor's office.
Oh, man.
And Jace is saying the movies are faster and more story and new context and lore, a lot more lore, too much, and watch them back to back. Then it's easier to understand the build up to the second movie because it's kind of just one movie. But I don't know that I can sit through 6 hours of a Zack Snyder movie. I barely made it through his cut of Justice League. And I had to take breaks. Seriously, I had to take breaks watching that.
No. No, I'm going to watch it, Jace. I'm going to watch it. I mean, I have every intent to watch it. But, I'm again, I might have to take a break, between, do it like 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, 1. It all depends on what my mood might be. But I have every intention to. That's why I didn't watch Rebel Moon Part 2 when it first came out. So.
All right. So, Cash, what's coming up on the Phantom Hooligans?
Well, unfortunately, Friday there was a power outage, so I had to kill the Ghostbusters stream. So we'll be back next week playing Ghostbusters. And yeah, that was too bad. But I did before that. I did do a stream recently with Phil, so check that one out. Fallout 76 one.
It's Phil.
It was fun. I understand, but it was still fun. So yeah, next week we're going to do the Ghostbusters at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and everything should be fine next Friday. So that'll be fun. We'll hopefully bust some ghosts and put them in the traps and take them back to the firehouse. So
It's a trap.
That's right. We got, of course, what Baron mentioned over on Cash Money Madness. That's all one word. That's the Rumble channel. That's right, YouTube, Rumble. Where as long as everything works out, it seems like it'll be fine. Then we should be doing an exclusive. That's right, YouTube, exclusive Rumble stream, and we're gonna have some topics, and we'll surprise you guys with that. But we'll see how that goes. That'll be around probably either 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So looking forward to that. And then I don't know. There's some more stuff coming up. I'm probably going to do some watch parties on YouTube and maybe even also on Rumble. And Baron will be there, and Mike and other people want to join. Fine. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff still coming up on the Phantom Hooligan, still surprises, but the main things that are coming up, including the watch parties, is because Baron's interested in this, and we thought, well, Mike's got the movies, so I want to do something different on the Phantom Hooligans, but why not TV shows and talking about TV shows and the anime? Yeah.
Very nice.
So that's all coming up on the Phantom Hooligans. Yeah.
And how about you, Mr. Baron Orman Tag?
Well, nothing more than what I'm doing with you gentlemen, both. So that was half my work. And of course, being that he's sitting in the chat, I should be nice to him, I guess. Thursday.
No, don't be nice to Jace. There's no need to be nice to Jace.
I know we gotta. We don't always promote the Beyond show enough. I just let you do it, Baron, but I should promote it more too. Yes.
Yeah. Well, we were. You guys were kind of being mean to Jace with the Rebel Moon stuff, so I could tell he was getting hurt. His feelings were hurt, so I thought, I'll follow.
He's Norwegian. He has no feelings.
Exactly. He has no feelings. What are we talking about here?
But yes, on Thursday, over at Jace Fox's 540 studio, between 6 and 6:30 Central Daylight Time, it'll be the Beyond, and usually Jace has himself on there, which is pretty smart because it's his show. Hopefully Prismatics will show up, as well as Skeleton Cajun, as well as Hoshi, as well as Whoopa Troopa, Cash Monet as well, and me. And I believe, even though as far as I know, he's still not an official member of the Beyond. He's part of the 540 family, but Tom's been showing up quite a bit, so yes. I might as well throw his name in there because it's just going to be nice to do that. I don't want to be neglectful, as it may be. And we already have our topics for the next episode of the Beyond, and this is a little hint.
Wiener, 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 next to honor.
Oh shit.
Man, we broke Jace. We broke him.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
Ah. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you guys, especially you, Baron.
Why? I'm innocent. I'm innocent. Come on.
Innocent. Innocent. You got
I,
guilty written all over you if I can't see your face.
you're making me sound like I'm Corn Pop, a bad dude.
You are the corn pop of Pop Talk.
Oh,
Yes,
cool.
I agree. Yeah.
Gnarly.
We're gonna stamp it on his forehead.
But as far as what's coming up on Pacific414 for the YouTube and Rumble sides, on Tuesday I'll be playing more of Batman Arkham City. I've got to rescue Mr. Freeze and get the cure for the blood that Joker injected into Batman.
Ooh.
And then, of course, we'll be back Wednesday for the Wednesday edition of Pacific414 Pop Talk. And just like Tuesday, Wednesday stream on YouTube and Rumble will take place at 6 p.m. Eastern. And for Thursday, I'll go back to Metroid Prime. I'll make sure I don't spend a whole hour and a half trying to get out of one fucking area.
Yeah, it
That
can get
area aggravated me.
confusing, man. Certain places can get confusing with that. Yeah. Didn't
Well,
I go here already?
It's like I make the jump
Mhm.
to get on the next platform, and I don't know if it was me. Most likely, it was me or the controller. But when I would hit the jump button, I would jump at the time I needed to jump, and it's like, nope, yeah, didn't make it. Oh, you're so close. Here's that $1. Oh, you couldn't grab it.
That's right. I know, dude. It's annoying. You can
So-
get lost in the same area. You're like, wait, I just went here. I know.
So what I did is I did it the other day. Is I actually got up all the way up off of those platform areas, and I'm at the door I need to be at to
Nice.
get out of that area.
Right.
So
That
when I
works.
Start
Yeah.
the stream.
Mm-hmm.
You won't have to put up with an hour and a half of me trying to get out of one area and, well, not succeeding.
Mm-hmm.
But that'll
Sounds
be
like a lot of
happening.
games you play.
Shut up, Aaron.
What?
I swear.
Well, remember when he'd come back saying I was playing this for 2 hours? I only didn't do a thing. It was always at the same spot. Well, it was War of Cybertron, wasn't it? I can't remember. Was it the Transformer game, or was it Dead West?
It was War for Cybertron was one of them where I kept trying to defeat Trypticon and I wasn't able to do it. I was able to do it offline. I recorded it and I uploaded it. This is usually me when a game ticks me off.
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
So, see, I was not exaggerating or wrong. It's,
No, but I'm smart now. I don't throw the controller. I gently put it down. I
And
can't
speaking
afford
of-
to keep replacing controllers.
Yeah, don't do that. Speaking of games, I see Cuphead claimed another victim again. Just they were like, I'm done with this game. But they had fun, but they were done.
Oh no, don't! I'm gonna keep
Mm-hmm.
preaching what I was preaching when I played it.
Mhm.
As much as that game can get to you, aggravate you, piss you off, don't give up.
Yeah, I hope
Don't-
he goes back to it. I was just like, uh-oh, Cuphead claimed another victim. Man, how long is the list now?
No, don't let that game get to you. Yes,
Oh,
it's
man.
very easy for that game to get to you. There are parts of it that are aggravating, excruciating.
And if you
But-
guys really, yeah, go ahead.
But don't let that game get to you. If I let that game get to me, then I wouldn't be able to get to the end of the game and then figure out the pattern so I could beat it.
Yep. If you guys really want to torture yourself, though, if you're feeling it, play Near Armada. Because remember, when you die in that game, you go back to the beginning. Even on normal difficulty, that game does not fuck around.
I played a little bit of it offline, and it's Pacific.
Yep.
Ready to have your ass
It-
kicked?
It
I played
basically
Cuphead
says,
and
"Oh,
Stellar Blade. What
played
else could
Cuphead.
happen?"
Oh, well, see, like you're not going to have to go back to the beginning. Oh, I see. But in this game, it's like, oh, well, we're going to make it even. We're going to torture you some more in the game. Have fun. But it is rewarding when you do finally beat these bosses and stuff.
Yeah.
So the game is rewarding as well as punishing. Yeah, I didn't know these Nier Armada games have always been like this because this was like one of the first I ever bought. Actually, no, I think it is the first I've ever bought. So, yeah, I didn't know this was going to be so punishing, but that's fine. Just got to suck it up. Get in there.
You can do it.
So
Destroy
then when you realize what happened, this was you.
Do you see what happens, Larry, when you fuck a stranger in the ass?
That's right. Yeah.
So before we leave, I do want to thank everybody who had stopped by, and I also want to say thank you to everybody who watched Wednesday's Pop Talk with Cash and Baron. Yes, I did pop in a little bit here and there, but it was their show Wednesday. Of course, Baron was the first one here, and then we had
I'm awesome.
Tim, also known as FKHC 2005, Pop Culture Mechanic. DJ Ronnie G.
He's not.
Big Daddy T-Gap Steve, that's right. It's Big Daddy.
Leia Rose, the lovely Leia Rose, the princess of YouTube.
And president for the Film McCracken fan club.
Lord Crit of Everest Productions. Yes. Yes. The Padawanami. And
who's he telling me now?
He was giving thumbs up on the YouTube and Rumble side.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes, he was giving thumbs to your channel and my channel and Mike's channel. Yep.
Well, he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
And also Jason Fox of 540 Studios.
Him, not so much.
But thank you to all who listened and lurked to today's episode. Even our typical downvoter, whoever you are, you know, there just comes a point in time where you just got to move on with your life and get over whatever's grinding your gears. And if something's grinding your gears that bad, then let's talk about it. Yes, exactly. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you, everybody, for watching this edition of Pop Talk. Hope to see you later on this week. Make sure to check out Cash and Baron stream Tuesday night. That's going to be at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific time. Correct, Cash?
Yeah, it's going to be around there. Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right. So be sure to check out their stream. I will do my due diligence to provide a link to their stream because I'll probably have the Batman stream over by then because I want to see what these two are going to be up to.
Oh, now we're going to have to change most of our script if he's going to be watching.
Right.
No. Then Phil's going to get his wish.
I see. But remember, it's a Rumble exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
No, I'm telling you, people out there. I know you know.
Yep.
And Jason's giving us hearts, lots of hearts. And
see, that's why he's heartless.
Yeah, he's waving his hands like he just don't care.
That's right. I said, I ain't giving you no $350, you goddamn Loch Ness monster. Get your own goddamn money.
I gave him a...
Mm-hmm.
But thank you all for watching. Hope you all have a good rest of your Sunday and a good week. And until next time, remember, don't ever give up on me in a game because just when you do, you might miss something. Have a good one, everyone. And Anonymous, where are you, man?
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Doot 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 doot. Hey, I heard the disco version that the other day. Yeah, cool. You know,
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Please like,
Not as
share,
good.
comment, follow, and subscribe.
Do it.
Oh, yeah.
Do it
you know.
now. Come on. From Kraken, worst troll ever.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great night, day, morning,
Have
whatever.
a good one.